and welcome on in to Kionka Field for this evening's contest as the Plymouth Wildcats come to town to take on the John Glenn Rockets. I'm Ryan Woolley, joined alongside Ben Salagi, and glad you could join us for what shall be a fun-filled evening as it is homecoming here in Westland, Michigan. And Ben, I know homecoming is a special day for the players of the Rockets as they want to bring a win for their fans, for our fans and friends and alumni that have all come back, but there's also an opposing team on that sideline that would love to play spoiler tonight in the Wildcats.
Well, it's always fun to play spoilers, and you know what? Plymouth has been doing it very much recently, a lot of their wins coming on the road. But it is crucial to not get too involved in the moment if you're John Glenn, because the emotions are high. You went to a prep assembly. Everyone's feeling it. The juices are flowing. But you got to make sure you focus on the task at hand, get the job done tonight.
And Ben, a lot of things can happen in this ball game, and I know there's got to be some secrets to success, so give us Salagi's secrets to success.
There's always secrets to success when you win and you play football. For John Glenn, you need to get Langford going early. He's the heart and soul of your offense. The way he goes, that's where John Glenn goes. Also, you have to allow Aaron Smith to find the football, get him open a little bit. He will find the football. He will make hits. And also, you got to win the field position battle. Kyle Brenza is capable of hitting the long ball for Plymouth, so it's going to come into interesting play when the ball's put at about the 25, or because he can nail those field goals. He can go 40 yards out and nail them. If you're the Wildcats, though, your offense goes through the two-headed monster of Victor Hicks and Janarian Caldwell, so you got to get them going as well. And also prepare to see some passing. Tim Harden said 2 weeks ago that he's going to open up the playbook more and more as the week goes on, and he wants to make the opposing defense think a little bit. And also last week, Plymouth gave up 222 yards through the air.
Well, we are underway here at Kionka Field as Tyler Groach took the kickoff. He was brought down by Stephon Anthony, and now the Plymouth Wildcats will set up shop 1st and 10. This one at their own 33-yard line, and you talked about Kyle Brenza, Ben. He is a guy that can kick those field goals, and I agree with you. I think field position is going to be key, but as you mentioned also, the two-headed monster and Janarian Caldwell and Victor Hicks, last week they combined for over 322 yards of rushing yards between the two of them. Here's the first handoff of the game. It goes to Caldwell. Shed the tackle in the backfield. Now got the corner. Breaks a couple more tackles. Gets out across the 45-yard line. Pushed out just about the 46. And it's a first down on the first play of the game for Plymouth.
Yeah, that's what you got to do if you want to get going early. Get the ball outside. Let your running back do the play. And right there, he showed his explosiveness. Going to the outside, cutting it up the field. It's going to be a first down for Plymouth.
Last week, Caldwell rushed for 177 yards on 24 carries. You know he is going to be a key feature in this ball game unless the Rockets defense can find a way to shut him down. The Wildcats have many formations they like to run out of. They like to run in this bunch set, but they also like to spread that defense out and go 5 wide. Handoff again. We'll go to Caldwell up the middle. Stutter steps up to midfield, and he's met by a couple of Rocket defenders, and leading the charge, it was Jeremy Langford. So both teams come into this ball game 4-1 on the season. Only 4 games left in the season, and each team needs to win 2 of those final 4 to get that automatic bid to the postseason. And this would be go a long way for either team to lock up that spot. Next week, John Glenn will have the big in-state clash with Wayne Memorial, the rivalry game just downtown. But before they can even think about the city title, they have to find a way to focus on Plymouth here. Caldwell now will take the handoff again. He's got nowhere to go. Stacked up right there at midfield as a swarm of defenders again get in there as Donnell Brewer comes up with the tackle.
That was a very good tackle by Mr. Brewer right there. Found the ball, found the center of mass, just went in, finished the play. It was very nice. It was excellent execution right there by John Glenn.
So no gain on the play. We'll bring up 3rd down and 5. We are scoreless early on here at Kionka Field. Again, the homecoming game, a large crowd, the largest that we've seen so far this season. And Ben, I mentioned a lot of the alumni coming back and seeing a 4-1 team. A lot of people are excited about the possibility of the playoffs, but you got to focus one game at a time. Come out in that same formation, now just flip the sides. Hicks will go from the shotgun. Caldwell to his left, now will motion to his right, and Hicks doesn't like something that he sees, and he'll take a timeout. That will be Plymouth's first timeout of this ballgame. Tim Harden said after the game against Franklin last week, the Rockets were actually picked to lose that game by 4 to Livonia Franklin, and they end up picking up It was a 34-28 victory, and it was a hard-fought victory for the Rockets. It was 14-14 at the half, but in the third quarter, they opened up the playbook. And Tim Harden said afterwards they pretty much used every play they had, did not come out in the same formation twice. They scored 20 points in that third quarter, went up to that 34-14 margin, but then Franklin came back, rallied. They had the ball with just 47 seconds left at the 49-yard line, drove down to the John Glenn 19, but with only 6 seconds left, the John Glenn defense stepped it up, sacked Franklin's quarterback, and that was all she wrote in the ballgame. But that's a game that the defense really had to stand strong there in the end as the offense sort of sputtered towards the end.
The defense always has to stand strong, especially when it's close to the goal line and you have to make the stop. And when it's on the line like that, we saw the Lions did it last week. Stopped
Washington. Yep.
Yeah, there you go, Washington. Slipped my mind a second. But yeah, that's how important it is when you shorten up the field for the defense because it works in your favor.
So here we go. 3rd down and 5 from midfield. Victor Hicks will take it. He's got the option, but he's going to pitch it out to Caldwell, and Caldwell going to be bottled up again, and he's going to lose a yard. As the Rockets were not fooled as to what was going on, so the defense stands tall here on the first drive, and they're going to force Kyle Brinza and that Wildcat offense to punt it away.
John Glenn did a really good job of flowing to the football, making Victor Hicks pitch it before he was comfortable. He held it as long as he could, pitched out when he could, and again, at the keys to the game, I was talking about Aaron Smith. He made sure that Janarian Caldwell did not get to the outside, finished the play, and now we're in a punting situation.
So Devarius Jenkins back deep to receive for John Glenn along with Jeremy Langford. Kyle Brinza will put his foot into it, and this kid can kick, folks. There you see how high it is. It bounces at the 5, and will take a Plymouth bounce, and the Wildcats look like they have downed it at the 1-yard line. So John Glenn will start deep into their own territory at the 1, and we'll see what Kulikowski and company can do.
Yeah, that was really impressive by Michael Olevnik, keeping his foot, making sure he's not touching that goal line and downing the ball at the 1. That's very impressive. Great field awareness by the youngster, making sure that John Glenn is starting off in a hole.
So Steve Kulikowski, your quarterback. Jeremy Langford, your tailback. And at receiver, you have Caleb Clenny and Jamar Rogers. So the Rockets now trying to answer on their first offensive series in this homecoming game. And Steve Wakeford actually checks in at receiver. Now he's on the near side of your screen. They come out in that strong eye. Stephen Murphy in at fullback. And Kulikowski will take it on a QB keeper up the middle, just trying to gain a couple yards as they are backed up into the shadow of their own goalpost right now.
Right now, John Glenn's being suffocated by that goal line off a great punt by Kyle Brinza earlier. So that's exactly what you need to do. Get some separation, get some breathing room, and then let your offense go to work.
So the QB keeper will gain 2, and will now bring up 2nd down and 8. Coming off the field is Devarius Jenkins. Again, just underway here at Kionka Field. 9:27 to go here, first quarter. 2nd down and 8 for the Rockets. Plymouth stacking the box. Showing blitz. Let's see if they bring it again from this strong I formation. Kulikowski now will hand it off up the middle to Jeremy Langford. He's got a hole and he's gone. He's at the 40 midfield and he's got about 15 to 20 yards from his defenders behind him, and he takes it 98 yards to the house, and the Rockets strike first. They lead 6-0.
That shows Jeremy Langford's speed right there. Saw the hole, was patient for it to open up, and he just hit the afterburners to the end zone. All he saw was green, knew he had everyone beat with his remarkable speed. Gets John Glenn on the board early for their homecoming game.
I'll tell you what, credit that offensive line for opening up just that little hole right up the gut. Stephen Murphy is fullback, following him all the way through, and then after that, you talk about the afterburners, Ben. He just took it right up midfield, then right down the sideline, and had 15, 20, maybe even 25 yards from the nearest defender. A 98-yard touchdown run, and the Rockets now will attempt the extra point to try to make it 7-0. Extra point goes up, and it is good as the extra point kicked by Rob Lopez. And how about that? The Rockets used 2 plays and already on the board, 7-0.
Yeah, 97 yards to pay dirt. And right when you see the field open up like that and you know you see the hole just open up, and that's a great job by the offensive lineman, but you get that adrenaline flowing. It's homecoming. You have a packed house here tonight, and just hit the afterburners. You're going in for 6. And he's been doing it all year. Right now he has 1,133 yards to date.
And you just tack on that 98 yards right there, and it just keeps growing. He is drawing interest from a lot of schools. We talked about the Mid-American Conference schools when they were taking on Livonia Churchill, which included Toledo, Akron, and Bowling Green. Michigan State was looking at him, and just recently Michigan has thrown their hat into recruiting this kid, and he is going to play Division I football somewhere, and he's going to make a lot of head coaches or that head coach really happy he's on their team.
Yeah, that's definitely for sure. With a kid with a vision like that, especially when it's close and you're being suffocated by the goal line, if you can find a vision, even get the ball out 6 yards from the goal line. But since he's a special player, he's probably D1 talent. We just know that from his recruiting record right now. He would be a remarkable talent to have.
So the Rockets strike first. They now will kick back off to the Wildcats, who went 4 plays and out and forced a punt, as Denarian Caldwell could not find any running room himself. And this crowd is excited, and as well as they should be. Kick is up, and it will bounce in front of Denarian Caldwell. He's going to let it roll, and that is a live ball. He finally picks it up at the 2-yard line. Now he's going to run with it. He's over up to the 15, breaks a couple tackles, trying to shed another one up to the 20. So Caldwell realized that if he let that ball just sit there, the Rockets would have picked it up, could have rolled right into the end zone. It picks up 18 yards on the return, and Plymouth now takes over on their own 20-yard line.
The only thing the hesitation really hurts is field position, but he did a great job after picking up the football. He got it to where the ball is right now at about the 20-yard line. He got it there himself. He had a couple key blocks, kept it to the outside, made people miss, and challenged them to tackle him. And so far they were going at, it seemed like they were trying to undercut him, trying to cut out his legs, and he got to the ball right where it needed to be at the 20.
So 8:53 to go here, first quarter. Rockets lead 7-0. Let's see if Plymouth can answer back. Victor Hicks now from the shotgun. They come out in that spread formation. Handoff now goes to Caldwell, and he's going to be wrapped up right away. Stephen Murphy got in there and tackled him.
Stephen Murphy did a great job filling the hole and challenging Jamarian just to push him off the ball a little bit, but he stood him right up and forced him to the ground. Right now, I think that touchdown is getting this defense a little bit more enthusiasm than what a homecoming game could bring.
So a gain of 1 on the play will now bring up 2nd down and 9. Again, they come out with that spread formation. They came out all bunched up in their first series and really couldn't move the football, so now they're going to try to spread this defense out. Hicks again will take it, hand it off to Caldwell, and he's tackled right in the backfield. John Glenn's interior lineman got in there as leading the charge, Vince Davidson, number 65.
Yeah, that was a great surge by the defensive lineman, just a classic bull rush right there, pushing back Plymouth's offensive line, not towing the line right there, and definitely getting a huge stop. Right now it's going to be 3rd down and 11.
So now 7:45 to go here, first quarter. Rockets up by 7, trying to get a stop here on 3rd down. Look for Hicks maybe to throw here, and he will. He's now going to roll out right, fires down the right sideline, and that one nearly picked off, and pass intended for number 7, Brennan Byer. He comes up with it, but it looks like he might be just short of the 1st down marker.
Yeah, that was just a great catch but there by Brennan. Got up high, climbed the ladder, grabbed the football to where only he could catch it, and you got to give Victor a great job because he has that tall wide receiver just giving it to him, and they did what they could, but they're going to have to punt for the 2nd straight time.
Kyle Brenzick does come out to punt. Watch for a possible fake, though. As lining up in the backfield is Tyler Grosh, their returner. Brenzick now waiting for it. It's a high snap. He does pull it down and gets a good foot into it once again. And Jeremy Langford looking at it. It touched his hands. He's got to come up with it. Now he's running backwards, and he's going to lose a bunch of yards, but that was a live ball, as it would have been a fumble. So Langford scoops it up. He'll be tackled just about the 5-yard line, so the Rockets again deep into their end zone, into the shadow of their end zone, rather. It'll start 1st and 10 on their own 5-yard line.
That was not a smart move at all by Langford. If you're getting into a situation where you know you cannot field a punt cleanly, sacrifice field position. You don't want to allow Plymouth to get the ball because you tipped it and you misplayed it. Luckily for him, he got the football, but he can't do that. He got away with one there.
Yep, that was a bad mistake by Jeremy, but good awareness, though, to scoop it up. So Plymouth again showing blitz. Handoff will go to Langford. He'll follow his blocks up the middle, and he's trying to be pushed forward, but he runs into a couple of defenders, and he's going to be brought down by the Wildcats' Alexander Ruffett. So a gain of about 6 on the play. We'll call it 7, so now we'll bring up 2nd down and 3. Rockets trying to extend their lead. Plymouth so far has no rhythm offensively. 4 and out on their first drive, 3 and out on their second. The Rockets scored on their second play. They're coming out with this bunch formation, 2 tight end set. Aaron Smith lined up in the backfield with Stephen Murphy as a lead blocker. Langford's now got a hole, and it was quickly closed just as he got through it. He does pick up the first down, though, a gain of 7. The Rockets move the chains, first down.
That run is a testament to Jeremy's explosiveness. The hole wasn't big enough, but he got the first down anyways. That explosiveness allowed him to see the hole, hit it as hard as he could, and he got about 3 extra yards through it. First down for John Glenn.
I think his eyes were bulging out of his head when he saw that hole. It was almost as big as the last time, but it quickly closed as soon as he got through it. The Rockets now with a fresh set of downs, trying to move the ball down the field. Again with this twin tight end look, again to Langford, and he's tripped up right at the line of scrimmage as the pressure got back there, and he'll gain just about 3. Cone on the tackle. So that now will bring up 2nd down and 7. And Ben, this game also not only going to go a long way of maybe determining who might get into the postseason, but it's going to separate Glenn and Plymouth as to who the second best team in the South Division is. Glenn, of course, comes in 4-1 along with Plymouth. Canton, the lone undefeated team, they sit atop at 5-0. Both these teams lost to Canton. That's the only loss on each of their records.
Canton's a pretty good football club, have been traditionally.
Play action pass. And that one falls incomplete. That one was intended for Caleb Clenny. So that will bring up 3rd down. And as you said, Ben, Canton is a good football club. They defeated Plymouth in the playoffs last year. Plymouth looking to go for their 3rd straight season. John Glenn trying to get back for the first time since 2004. That was the last time that they had made the postseason. But Canton has been a powerhouse with that wishbone offense that they like to run.
The wishbone's going out of style everywhere else but Canton.
That's right. They still find a way to make it successful. Now here from the Wildcat, Langford going to take the snap. He's going to hand it off to his receiver, and that's Devarius Jenkins, who was trying to stutter step right about the 25-yard line, but could not make the defender miss, and the Rockets now are going to be forced to punt.
Yeah, they tried to get it to the outside. It didn't really generate anything, and that was a great effort by Plymouth to stop the run right where they did, and now it's going to be an opportunity for them to get a little momentum back on their side. They're going to make John Glenn punt for the first time today.
Tyler Grosh back deep to receive for the Wildcats. He is a pretty quick returner. So we'll see how high of a punt Travis Farrar can get. Make Grosh either call for the fair catch or just let it go by him. High snap. Farrar pulls it down, gets a good kick. It's going to drop at the 48 and take a John Glenn bounce, and it will keep rolling. And going to be scooped up by Stephen Wakeford just about the 35-yard line. So Plymouth now with their best starting position of the day. They'll start at their own 35.
Very generous bounce gotten by for John Glenn, and it's gonna shorten, it's gonna lengthen that field a little bit more. The ball bounced right around the 50 and carried almost to the length to about the 35. That's what, 15 yards right there. So it's those little hidden yardage, and that's what was one of the key to the games, is win the field position battle. So far, so good.
And Wakeford scooped it up before Grosh thought about grabbing it and running by him, as he was the only one in the area. So now under center is Jarrell Jenkins, and he'll go from the Wildcat. Now he's going to try to the right side, and he's dragged down in the backfield. Stephen Murphy gets in the backfield, drags him down, and a loss of a couple on the play. So a good job by the Rocket defense sniffing out what they were trying to do, a loss of 2.
Great explosiveness right there by the young defender, getting the ball, getting to the ball quickly and stopping any momentum that the Wildcat formation usually brings.
So Jenkins again will run from the Wildcat. He's got 2 receivers to his left. Now he's going to run to the left. Rockets got right in there. He's going to try to cut it up the middle, and he's got nowhere to go as he ran right into Kamal Ayler. And Ayler, along with some friends, dragged him to the ground. And the Rocket defense up to the task so far tonight.
Aaron Smith finishing the tackle on the gang tackle, making sure that Jarrell Jenkins could not go anywhere. And John Glenn right now winning the battle up front.
Mike Sawchuk trying to mix some things up for this Wildcat offense, and I say Wildcat because that is their mascot. But trying to mix some things up. They went to the 5 wide, they went to the bunch formation, and now they've ran from the Wildcat offense. So now Victor Hicks and Denarian Caldwell will check back into the game. Hicks will go again from the shotgun. Now we'll take the snap, looking downfield, no pressure, got all day, looking to throw. Airs it out across the middle. He's got a man wide open, and that one is completed. It goes to Jacob Morris, and a huge chunk of change. And the problem with that play, Ben, is there was no pressure on Hicks. He had all day to throw and just able to air that one out to find the open man.
Well, the problem with that is John Glenn did not provide safety help. It was one-on-one coverage for every wide receiver, and Jacob Morris just beat his man flat out, got to the football, and it showed Victor Hicks' arm strength, getting him the football. It's going to be a nice first down.
So now deep into John Glenn territory. 2:43 to go here, first quarter. Rockets lead by 7, but now Plymouth threatening. They were at a 3rd and 15, but now a fresh set of chains after that huge pass play. Come out with the spread formation again. Handoff will go to Caldwell. He tried going to the right side, then decided to cut back up the middle. Tripped up by Donnell Brewer for his second tackle of the ball game, and that a gain just about 6.
That's the importance of the read option. It's the quarterback's job to read the defensive end. If the defensive end's crashing, he keeps the football. He can bounce it outside because the defensive end took himself out of the play. If the defensive end keeps his eye on the quarterback, he's going to hand it off. I'm expecting in one of these read options for Victor just to keep the ball and go to the outside. He's had a couple opportunities to do so already.
And there it is. He takes it right up the middle, breaks a tackle, and he's in. Touchdown, Plymouth.
Right on cue for Victor Hicks.
Victor Hicks
keeping the football for a touchdown.
Takes it in from 8 yards out, and they now trail 7-6 here late first quarter. As they fake the handoff to Caldwell and elected just to take it up with the QB sneak. Shed one tackle. And now Brenza, who's been so good this season with extra points, will come in to attempt it. There's the snap. Kick is up. An extra point is good, and we got a tie ball game here in the first quarter.
Right now it's a whole new ball game when it's tied, and you got to steal the momentum. John Glenn has to get back to the momentum that was partially stolen by that impressive drive, and all just directed and narrated by Victor Hicks with that nice long pass to set up a little red zone opportunity for him, and they cashed it in because in the red zone, if you don't cash it in, you're not going to win.
65-yard drive on 6 plays. As you said, they cashed it in with that 8-yard touchdown run as Victor Hicks just took it himself. So the Rockets got to go back to work offensively. They were stuffed on that last drive. Kulikowski had that play-action pass. It was dropped. Would have been a first down. Then forced that 3rd and long, and they tried a little wildcat. Gained nothing on the play and were forced to punt it away.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to see John Glenn keep going to the Wildcat formation because with their bunched power I formation, they were running the football really well. They got a touchdown out of it. They were moving the ball. They were moving the ball and the chains with it. Then they went to the Wildcat, kind of stalled, kind of disrupted the flow of the offense. So I'm expecting John Glenn to maybe go back to that stacked power I.
Definitely something to watch for on this drive. 2:01 to go, first quarter, tie game, 7-7. Brenza now set to kick for Plymouth. Tavarius Jenkins, Jeremy Langford back deep for the Rockets. And the kickoff just will sail into the end zone and through the uprights.
Not much you can do except watch that ball go through the uprights like we saw Jeremy do right there.
It is very impressive what Kyle Brenza can do for this Plymouth team, and that's why he's being looked at nationally. He's only a junior, but both Michigan and Michigan State locally are looking into him, as well as Vanderbilt taking a look as well.
Going to the enemy, going to SEC country. We don't like hearing that. He can stay in state. It doesn't matter if it's Michigan or Michigan State, that rivalry game coming up tomorrow. But don't go to SEC country. That's just not good for anybody.
I will agree with you. Keep the local kids as close as you can if able to. So let's see what the Rockets can do, and despite what Ben says, Rockets going to come back out in that Wildcat formation. We saw this work to perfection against Livonia Churchill as Langford will take it. He's got a block to the right side, sheds a tackle to the 30, to the 40, to the 50, and one man to beat. He's got the speed to do it, takes it all the way into the end zone, and a touchdown for the Rockets, but a flag down on the field at the line of scrimmage. It would be an 80-yard touchdown, but I think this one's coming back.
Early indications of holding right there. That's a shame. Jeremy Langford showing his athleticism again, busting out a huge run, but it gets pulled back because of fundamentals. That's all holding is. Granted, yes, you can call it on every play if you want to be ticky-tacky, but it's fundamentals. Keep the hands inside the shoulder pads and direct where you want your guy to go. That's how you block and tackle a guy, whether you're a fullback, a guard, or a tackle, or even a center.
And that is a backbreaker for John Glenn. Again, one play, 80 yards. Would have been another touchdown to put them up 13-7 in this homecoming game, but a holding call brings it back. And some of you at home may be saying, well, that holding call might have opened up that lane, and that's very true, and that's why it backs them up 10 yards.
Yeah, it's unfortunate how holding calls can do that. Granted, they can open up huge runs, but they can also bring back huge runs.
So following the penalty, it's now 1st and 20 from the 10-yard line. And they will abandon the Wildcat and bring back Steve Kulikowski under center. Kulikowski with a hard count, trying to get him to jump. They do not. Handoff now will go to Kamal Ayler, who will come in to sub for Jeremy Langford, and understandably so. You run 80 yards thinking you got a touchdown, and you're out of breath.
It's one of those gassers that you usually run in practice. There's a drill called Green Bay's where you go 100 yards 10 times, then you go 90 yards 9 times and all that, and you just get gassed after a while, especially after a practice. It's still early in the game, but no matter what, 80 yards is a long distance in pads. You're going to have to be taken out.
Langford now checks back in after one play. And they're going to run from the Wildcat yet again. Big Aaron Smith, Steve Murphy, and Steve Kulikowski line up on the left side, and that's where Langford's going to run, and he's got nowhere to go as the defense quickly gets in the backfield. Langford wrapped up by Walter Epler. Just about a gain of 2 on the play. So the Rockets again deep into their own territory. Now staring a 3rd down and 17 in the face, so you got to be looking to the air or maybe look for a screen pass here.
I'm going to look for a screen pass here, Ryan, only because it's going to be a field position game. You want to get back most of those yards as you can, and a screen pass would do it because the defense is expecting a long pass.
So let's see what they come out with here as they come out with the 4 wide set. Murphy in the backfield, Langford lining up in the slot. Kulikowski almost dropped the snap. Now going to throw it across the middle. It looked to be a middle screen as the offensive line was there, but the pass falls to the turf, and the Rockets now going to be forced to punt for the 2nd straight drive.
Yeah, Kulikowski was feeling the pressure by Plymouth's defensive line, and that's the scary part about a screen is right when the offensive line blocks, you only block for maybe half a second, because it's designed to have the defensive linemen think that they're getting blocked. They release, and if you're the defense, that's just going to light up your eyes because you get that free shot at the quarterback, the shot that you always look for. And that's what makes the screen dangerous. And it also, because it can either be a bad pass or it could be a touchdown.
Yep. Over-aggressive defense is the best way to get by a blitzing defense. And Travis Farrar now will put his foot into this punt. And again, we'll take a John Glenn bounce. But Plymouth now will set up shop inside John Glenn territory with just 6 seconds to go here in the first quarter with a tie game at 7-7. And Plymouth with a huge opportunity. They set up shop at the 42.
It goes back down to that battle of field position we were talking about earlier, Ryan. If John Glenn can stall them, even if they hold them to a 3-and-out, they can still kick the field goal because Kyle Brenza, I choked on my own tongue there. he can hit the long ball. He has a great leg.
Brenza, we saw boot a 55-yarder in warm-ups. So he can kick long, and we saw him kick it through the back of the end zone on that kickoff. Hicks now again going to throw. Pressure coming, steps up in the pocket, airs one out down the sideline, and overthrows his intended receiver. That's Brennan Byer, but the Rockets brought the pressure, and Hicks felt it, unlike the last time that he threw the pass and it was completed to Jacob Morris. Now there is a flag down on the field. Let's see what they call here, and they might call illegal touching by the Rockets.
Yeah, it was a great job by Victor, feeling the pressure, stepping up in the pocket. That's always what you want a quarterback to do, is step up when he feels pressure. Did a great job. He stepped up, kept his eyes downfield, which is also crucial, and just errantly pass.
Ineligible man downfield for Plymouth. So that now will back them up. That is a huge penalty for the Wildcats. So instead of starting on the John Glenn 42, they are now positioned on their own 43-yard line, and that is how the first quarter will end here at Kionka Field for this annual homecoming game. It's tied 7-7. We'll be back with second quarter action after this. Back here at Kionka Field, the second quarter action will get underway momentarily, but following the penalty, which was the ineligible man downfield, they have to run one more play is what the officials are stating, and that's news to me. I think it might be news to you too, Ben, but either way, they're going to run one more play to end first quarter action. Hicks now going to drop back to throw, airs one out again down the field, got a man, that's Byer, and he caught it, and he's in. Touchdown Plymouth, as Byer hauls it in, and a Wildcat strike again. They lead 13-7.
Byer did a great job pushing off the defender, but I bring that up because he threw him to the ground. When the defender and the wide receiver are both in the air, they both have the opportunity to the football, and that could have been easily called offensive pass interference, but they're going to let it stand, and you got 6 points out of it, and you're going to take the lead.
So Brenza now will again come in to attempt the extra point. The snap, the hold, and the kick is good, and they now lead 14-7. So what they did following the ineligible man downfield, they gave him a 15-yard penalty, which made it first down and 10 at John Glenn's 43-yard line, but they ended up bringing the ball back, and they put it at John Glenn's 47-yard line, Plymouth's 47-yard line. So instead of having to go 53 yards, they only had to go 47 yards, and that was a 47-yard touchdown pass to Byer.
It was a great pass, shows his arm strength right there. It's not an easy pass to make, and it's kind of easier when you have a big, tall man like Brennan Byer, but again, I don't even know, we wouldn't have got here if it wasn't for that confusion, but again, the refs let one more play go through. You and I were caught off guard by it, and Plymouth taking advantage of it and stealing the momentum and the wind out of the crowd.
Well, we heard the PA announcer here, Larry McConnell, saying, it's the end of the first quarter. We saw the coaches on the sideline, sort of holding their hands up for John Glenn, like, what is going on? Why are we running another play?
Yeah, and the reason why we're all confused about it is there is a rule that if there is a penalty at the end of a half, first half, end of the game, you can't end the game on a penalty, but you can end it, I believe, to end a quarter, because all you would be doing is just starting up that quarter with the new yardage, but I guess not the case so far.
Have to go back and reread the MHSAA handbook or something. That's news to me, and like I said, seemed to be news to everybody and the fans here at Kionka Field. But nonetheless, the Wildcats are now leading 14-7 here second quarter. And Kyle Brenza now set to kick off for Plymouth, and back way deep is Jeremy Langford and Devarius Jenkins. And that ball will just hit into the end zone. It will be an automatic touchback. High school rules. As soon as it crosses that white pylon, it's an automatic touchback. So Glenn will set up shop first and 10 on their own 20-yard line.
John Glenn's going to have to get this momentum back. With all the confusion, put it out of your head. Do your job. Go down the field. You get the ball at the 20. It's only 80 yards to go. Get some of this momentum back and make sure that with all that confusion, because I'm still caught off guard by it, just make sure that it's null and void and you bring this game back to tied.
So far, big plays have been the story of this game so far. The Rockets had that long touchdown run of 98 yards by Jeremy Langford. They also had an 80-yard touchdown run called back on a holding call. Langford now from the Wildcat try running to the right side and really had nowhere to go as the defense of Plymouth got in there. Anthony Rhodes drags Langford to the ground. But again, the big play, we saw the pass play from Victor Hicks to Jacob Morris of 43 yards to set up a 8-yard touchdown run. And then that big 47-yard touchdown pass that just happened to Brennan Byer, and that's where we stand, 14-7, Wildcats on top.
Brennan Byer's been a good safety valve for his quarterbacks, Victor Hicks. Victor threw a pass to set up the first touchdown Plymouth had, and again, Brennan Byer was there to get another touchdown pass. So you get one to set up a touchdown pass, and you get one to score a touchdown pass. Pretty nice safety valve to have.
Langford now on the Wildcat. He faked the handoff. He takes it up the middle, and he's dragged down by Brennan Byer. A good chunk of yards gained on the play, a gain of 7, so that now will bring up 3rd down and 3.
That was great vision right there by Jeremy. He saw after the read that he had a wide open hole to go through, and his eyes lit up. He had that adrenaline flowing, and he hit it hard, and he got that 7-yard gain.
We saw the Wildcat again work to perfection a couple different times over the last couple of weeks. They used it a lot against Livonia Franklin just last week, as Glenn outgained the Patriots 326 yards to 244. Langford had 213 yards on the ground. He's averaging almost 250 a game, just under. So now a strong set in the backfield. Handoff will go to Langford, and he'll follow his blockers, but he's bottled up. Gain of a yard on the play, and the Rockets will fall short of the first down marker. So John Glenn looks like they're going to be forced to punt again, unless head coach Tim Harden wants to roll the dice.
Here comes the punt team coming out. They talked about it briefly, but he did. He sent out the punt team, and he's going to try to play that little chess game right now. He's going to play for field position.
That is going to be the key stat. You talked about it in the opening segments of the broadcast, where Kyle Brenza can boot field goals. And if you let them set up shop at the 30-yard line, that's an easy 47-yarder for Brenza, even if they didn't gain anything. So Travis Farrar now will come in to punt for John Glenn. And he gets a good one. It's a high punt, and it now will be fielded at the 30-yard line, and that's Victor Hicks in to return it. He's now to the left sideline across midfield, and he's pushed out of bounds by the Rockets as Tavarius Jenkins gets there.
Victor Hicks helping his own cause with that run right there, keeping it to the outside. We tried to get containment by Steve Wakeford, but he was the only guy there to contest him, kept it to the outside, and got the ball close to the 50-yard line.
So they're going to say he stepped out at the 46. It looked like he crossed midfield, which he did, but the officials say he just stepped out of bounds before crossing. So 1st and 10 from the 46. Plymouth up by 7, 14-7 here, second quarter. Hicks and Caldwell in the backfield. Hicks now takes the snap, going to take it on a quarterback keeper, and he's got nowhere to go, and a flag down on the field. So they will blow that play dead, and false start against the Wildcats. Now we'll back them up 5.
Yeah, it looked like Jacob Morris got a little bit of happy feet, jumped early, and that's going to give 5 yards for John Glenn.
Rockets got to take advantage of this. They got to find a way to get this ball back. They can't find themselves down by 2 possessions. They stole the momentum to start the game, but since then it's been all Plymouth. So again, the same formation with Hicks and Caldwell in the backfield. Jacob Morris lined up on the near side of your screen. Handoff now will go to Caldwell up the middle. Sheds a tackle, brought down by Chase Glover. Looks like we'll get back to the original line of scrimmage, a pickup of 5, maybe 6.
Yeah, that was great. I'm at a loss for words. It was great patience. There it is. Great patience right there, letting the blocks set up, getting back to the original line of scrimmage just because of those blocks and being patient, buying his time, and getting right back to the line of scrimmage, so it makes that penalty kind of null and void.
And by being patient, if the defense is over pursuing, let them run right by you, shed the tackle, and get some positive yards out of it.
That's the beauty of the draw play.
So now Hicks with it. Now roll to the right. Now we'll roll back left. He's got a couple men in front of him as far as the Rockets are concerned. Makes a miss. Down to the 30, down to the 25. Stutter stepping down to the 20, and it's a huge gain by Plymouth when it looked like Hicks had nowhere to go, but he made something out of nothing. And it's now a first down deep inside John Glenn territory.
Yeah, Aaron Smith made him reverse the field. Hicks showing great speed, keeping it to the outside, helping his own cause yet again, and getting a huge first down, a very crucial first down.
Victor Hicks last week racked up 145 yards on 15 carries against Livonia Churchill. They picked up a 31-7 victory. Between him and Caldwell, they had 322 total. So now Hicks directing traffic, telling everybody what's going on as Anthony Rhodes, that lead blocker, lines up to the right side. Again from the shotgun, fakes the handoff. Hicks now rolls to the left, now throws off his back foot, got a man in the end zone. It was intended for Byer. The Rockets almost intercepted it. As down inside the end zone was Donnell Brewer. He had a piece of it, but he could not hold on.
No, he couldn't hold on. That was great effort right there by Donnell, fighting for the football at the highest point, trying to come down with an interception. Either way, it's going to work out well for you because it prevents him from getting a touchdown. If you're a quarterback, though, you never want to throw off your back foot because it allows for stuff like that to happen.
Yeah, you definitely want to sit in that pocket and set your feet. You may take a hit sometimes, but you saw what happens there. You throw off your back foot, and that's a wild pass, and Plymouth pretty lucky that John Glenn did not come away with it. So now 2nd down and 10. Handoff now will go to Caldwell. He's now going to run up the right side. Stephen Murphy giving chase to him. Could not make the tackle, but he stepped out of bounds as Donnell Brewer closing in, as well as Jamar Rogers. So 7:50 to go here. 2nd quarter. Rockets trying to make a stop. Plymouth trying to expand their lead, but a flag down on the field. As Caldwell gained a yard after all of that dancing.
Early interpretation shows it's going to go against Plymouth.
And they're going to say they held. So that now will back them up 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Still be 2nd down. Right now 2 fouls, or 2 penalties rather, on this play. Plymouth now has lost 15 yards, but they had a good chunk of change picked up by that big run by Victor Hicks. Hicks now again will take it, and a little shovel pass out to Caldwell, and he's wrapped up immediately by Davarius Jenkins, who read it all the way, got in there, wrapped his arms around him, and dragged him down.
Yeah, that was excellent right there, and also you had Clay Kelly made him pitch the ball early, and that was just a great job. Open field tackling, that's what you got to do, no arm tackles, and it's going to stop him, and it looks like we had a penalty. It's right there. It's going to be holding. All null and void for that play.
So everything continues to stack up against Plymouth as the officials are talking to John Glenn, and Chase Glover was talking to the official. It looked over to the sideline. Tim Harden says back him up another 10 yards, and why not? Because what you're doing is you're taking him out of field position for Kyle Brenza.
Yeah, it looked like a little block in the back right there by Plymouth. And it's going to be, right now, a battle of field position, helping out John Glenn and stopping the momentum. You want to keep him going backwards, not forwards, because Kyle Brenza will put points on the board.
So right now the ball is just about the 35-yard line. It's 2nd down and 27. Watch out for the big play. A pass play across the middle. We saw it earlier to Morris. And now checking into the game is James Imminger, another threat at receiver. Hicks now going to take it. Screen pass coming. This one set up perfectly. It goes to Caldwell, sheds a tackle, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 20 by Aaron Smith. So a good gain on the screen pass, and that now will bring up just about 2nd and 13.
Caldwell showed his strength right there, shouldering off a tackle and exploding it for a huge, huge gain to help the cause for Plymouth.
Joe Smizer almost made the initial tackle on Caldwell, but just missed him. So just over 7 minutes to play here, 2nd quarter. 14-7 Plymouth leads. Both teams 4-1, 2-1 in divisional play. Looking for that 5th win to pull within 1 of that guaranteed playoff spot with 6 wins. So 3rd down and 12. Hicks now from the shotgun. Pressure comes. This one aired out to the end zone. Pass is completed. And it is. Touchdown for the Wildcats into the corner of the end zone. And that was Jacob Morris who comes up with the reception.
Yeah, another jump ball reception right there this time. Jacob Morris coming down with it for 6 instead of a big man in Brennan Byer. So that's 2 touchdown passes on the day for Victor Hicks and the Plymouth Wildcats.
And that was just a mismatch. You called it the jump ball, and that's exactly what it was. pressure got in there. Chase Glover was giving chase to Victor Hicks, but he was able to get it off as Kyle Brinza puts another extra point through. And just like that, 3 unanswered touchdowns, and it's 21-7 Plymouth as they go 54 yards on 5 plays and cap it off with that 20-yard touchdown pass to number 23, Jacob Morris.
John Glenn found themselves right now in a hole early in their homecoming game, down by 2 scores. You got to get that momentum back. You got to get this crowd back, because right now Plymouth came in and they've silenced the crowd. They've done that all year. Some of their wins, I believe 3 of them, have come on the road.
Yep, Plymouth has been a really good road team this year. They won at Plymouth-Salem 25-11. They beat Brighton 32-30 on an awesome finish with a 2-point conversion. And then just 2 weeks ago, they were at Wayne Memorial and picked up a 14-7 victory after a goal line stand as the Zebras had the ball down on the 4-yard line, trailing by 7, and Plymouth came up with an interception to seal that one.
Right now, Plymouth just exploiting the mismatches in John Glenn's secondary. John Glenn's going to need to find some ways to shore up those mismatches, or it's going to be a very, very long day for the Rockets.
This is where the benefit of having Kyle Brinza comes in, because anything can happen on kick returns, but unfortunately for the Rockets, they've not been able to return anything, as every time Brinza has put his foot into it, it's gone out of the back of the end zone. And again, this one will hit about the L on the Glenn in the end zone, and will roll out, and the Rockets again will take over 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line, the same spot they started from on their last series. So John Glenn's offensive series so far today, 98-yard touchdown run from Jeremy Langford to start the game on the 2nd play, but 3 straight punts. And what could have been was an 80-yard touchdown run on their 3rd offensive series that was called back by a holding call.
Yeah, John Glenn started out hot with that 97-yard touchdown run by Langford, but so far Plymouth shutting down that option.
Joe Smizer now moves in motion. Langford now will take it in the Wildcat. Makes one man miss down the left sideline. Got a blocker in front of him to the 40, 50, and you might be able to say goodbye. He's down to the 10, 5, touchdown Rockets. Jeremy Langford does it again. Takes it 80 yards down the left sideline, and the Rockets now trail 21-13.
It's interesting. On defense, you have something called a kitchen sink where you send all 11 guys. Right there, it looked like they had everyone up in the line of scrimmage blocking for Jeremy Langford. All he had to do was pick his hole and go for 6.
And what you got to like about that play, too, Ben, is Joe Smizer lined up as a fullback in the backfield. Langford then sent him in motion, and he picked up the blitzing linebacker, sealed off that corner, and after that, he was gone.
Doing a fullback's job right there. Finding the linebacker, putting your nose to the linebacker's chest and putting him out of the play.
Well, Rob Lopez will come in for the extra point. He got the kick up, and it's good. So just like that, the Rockets get back that M word you were talking about, the momentum. 1 play, 80 yards, now down by 7, 6:46 to go here in the 2nd quarter. A very nice run by Jeremy Langford and company. We talked about the Wildcat offense, about what they're going to try to do, maybe try to air it out with Kulikowski, but so far the running game has worked to perfection for John Glenn, and so far the passing game from Victor Hicks has been benefiting Plymouth's offense.
It's kind of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde run offense working for John Glenn. We've had 2 really huge runs of over 160 yards for John Glenn for scores, and Victor Hicks getting it done through the air for Plymouth twice. Relatively, one was a long pass, one was a short pass, and right now, like I said, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of both teams.
Well, a little history stat for anybody out there. John Glenn has never beaten Plymouth in the 3 times that they have met. This is their 3rd meeting, and John Glenn lost their last couple of games to Plymouth, 19-0 back in 2006. 19-0 last year, and 15-7 in 2006. Trying to get that first elusive W on Plymouth, as Plymouth broke apart in 2004 from the Canton and Salem schools, so now they have the 3 separate schools, and the Canton Chiefs, the Plymouth Wildcats, and the Plymouth Salem Rocks.
It's amazing what a run like that will do to your crowd. Right now, you can see the crowd, you can see John Glenn sidelines getting into it right now, and it's all about that momentum, and right now, John Glenn needs to seize it back in full control.
21-14, Rockets trail here in the annual homecoming game. Glad you could join us here on WLND. 6:46 to go, second quarter. And a beautiful kick by the Rockets will roll into the end zone. And how about that, Kyle Brinza? Right back at you. So the Wildcats can't return, and the Rockets now will make Plymouth set up shop, 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. The last 3 drives for Plymouth. That 8-yard touchdown run from Victor Hicks, a 47-yard touchdown pass from Hicks to Brennan Byer, and a 20-yard touchdown pass from Victor Hicks to Jacob Morris, who was 21 unanswered before that last touchdown by Jeremy Langford.
Yeah, Luciano saying anything you can do, I can do too. Showing his leg strength, kicking it back for a touchback.
Let's see what the defense can come up with here. They got to find a way to get Plymouth off the field. They've had them in 3rd and long situations, but big plays have worked in Plymouth's favor. Hicks will take it on a quarterback keeper. He'll take it up the middle, and he'll be dragged down as he ran into Vince Davidson. So a gain of a couple on the play. We'll call it 4. So now we'll bring up 2nd and 6.
Victor Hicks seeing this field really, really well, both with his eyes and with his eyes seeing wide open receivers downfield, also looking a little shorter at the line of scrimmage to see if he can break open a run. We've seen a couple long runs broken so far today. He's doing it both with his arms and his feet. True dual threat quarterback in Victor Hicks.
Rockets not showing blitz. Handoff now will go to Gennari and Caldwell up the middle, and Aaron Smith gets in there, falls on top of him. Is Chase Glover also there? So a gain of 1, and now a 3rd down situation for Plymouth, and they've been so good on 3rd down so far today, throwing the ball as well as picking it up on the ground, as Victor Hicks has been mobile.
Very mobile. Breaking out a couple of runs as a quarterback and as a kick returner so far today, showing his speed, his athleticism.
So John Glenn's defense trying to get this crowd fired up. 3rd down and 5. This is a big 3rd down for John Glenn's defense. Hicks now will take it. Fakes the handoff to Caldwell. Now trying to get up the middle. Spins out of a tackle, but he's wrapped up. Aaron Smith there to make the tackle. Aaron Smith wrapped his big hands around him, dragged him to the ground, but a flag has come down on the field. And they say it's holding against Plymouth, and you would expect them to decline this and force them to punt it away.
Oh, it's an easy decision right here. Decline it, get the football back, and see what a one and done play can do for you on offense. Right now, your defense is playing inspired football. You saw right there great containment of a quarterback, everyone rushing, making him try to shift, jive, move. He's always shifting, jiving, and move right there into the opposition's arms. Jeremy Langford also helping out, cleaning that up. And Jeremy Langford right now, the star of your team, is getting your team back into this football game almost single-handedly.
So they decline the penalty as expected. Brenza will come into punt. Devarius Jenkins, Jeremy Langford back deep to receive. Brenza skies this one. Jenkins runs up on it but does not take it. Now he touches it and he gets belted right at the 25-yard line. That was not a smart move to take the ball, but he holds on to it as he's dragged to the turf by Philip Imminger.
That's the 2nd time today we've seen something like that. We saw Jeremy Langford doing that. And again, Devarius Jenkins shouldn't have fielded that punt. Granted, yes, you're going to hurt your field position, but you can hurt your team more if you try to field a punt like that and it goes off your hands and it goes into Plymouth's hands, because they would get the ball at about the 30-yard line instead of you. If it's a punt like that, let it go, scream fire, don't touch it.
So now, again, this Wildcat formation. Smizer lined up at fullback, rolls to the left. Langford now will take it. Really had nowhere to go, but tried to make something out of nothing. He'll gain just a couple of yards, wrapped up by Darrell Kahn. And he'll gain just about 4 on the play.
Yeah, Jeremy doing a good job putting his head down, gaining as much yards as he can. Instead of being stopped for a short gain, he gets a gain of about 4 yards. It's only going to help your offense. Good leadership by Jeremy today.
Rockets now facing 2nd down and 6. You would think that they wanted to eat up the rest of the second quarter. 4:34 to go. They have 3 timeouts. Langford again, now going to take it. Thought about throwing, but now will roll to the left. Made one man miss and will cut up across the 45-yard line, and it's a 1st down for the Rockets. And I said thought about passing because it looked like he clutched the ball like he was going to throw, but instead he pulled it down. And last week Langford did throw the football from the Wildcat. He caught Steve Wakeford in the back of the end zone for a 23-yard touchdown in that win against Livonia Franklin.
Yeah, that's keeping the defense honest, showing that last week, as you're going to watch game film, that he can throw the football. This time selling it and keeping it to the outside, because if you break outside containment with Jeremy Langford, he's going to hurt you, and right there that 1st down is going to hurt you.
Even in Glenn's loss to Canton, that 44-6 loss over at Turf Field, he still had 204 all-purpose yards. Langford again will take it, now up past midfield. And he's wrapped up by a couple of defenders. Denarian Caldwell there on the tackle, as well as Walter Epler.
Anthony Rhodes looks like he hurt his ankle. He's going to be going to the sidelines right now.
Yep, he's limping off the field.
Philip Schultz is going to come in to relieve him right now.
So following the gain of 6, 2nd down and 4. Under 4 minutes to play, Rockets down by 7. 21-14 in favor of Plymouth. Jamar Rogers now runs the near side of your screen. Steve Kulikowski also lined up there. Caleb Plenty, your top receiver. Excuse me, that's Devarius Jenkins. Fakes the handoff to Jenkins. Langford now going to take it up the middle. And he'll get over to the 40-yard line, and a fumble on the play, and it's recovered by the Wildcats. Oh, Jeremy Langford was just hit as he crossed the 40-yard line. The ball popped out, and Plymouth signaled they had it. Now the officials are talking it over.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was a fumble. I thought Jeremy got down before. The ref's doing a little conference right now, but nope, right there, Plymouth getting the football. Too bad there's no challenges in high school.
That is very true. The Rockets all excited on their sideline. So I think the Rockets might have been confused. They might have thought that they were getting the ball back.
Tim Harden's not happy, throwing down the headset, talking with the official. But in high school, like we said, there's no challenges. If it's the referee's decision, it's the referee's decision. You cannot go back and look over it.
Well, Plymouth took a timeout, and the way the chain gang is set up is if it's 1st down for John Glenn. But the officials are still talking it over.
Yeah, that play was really funny because it did look like Jeremy Langford got down and extended his hands to get as much yardage as he could, and that's, if he's down and he extends the football, he's down, and that's what they're trying to talk about right now. So again, too bad they're keeping with their original decision.
And now they're fixing it because John Glenn had their defense out and Plymouth had their offense out, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, rain now starting to fall here at Kionka Field.
Yeah, the rain's starting to come in. It's a little bit of a mist right now. It's not a downpour just yet.
So that's going to make things just a little bit more interesting for the Plymouth offense. They've been airing it out. See what they do here. Hicks now going to take it. Looks downfield. Pressure coming. Steps up into the pocket. Airs it out. That one completed. And Jacob Morris at the 40. Spins out of a tackle. Down to the 30. Trying to cut back. And he's going to be wrapped up just about the 15-yard line. And a huge gain on the play for Plymouth.
Very huge gain right there. Again, we've talked about it a little briefly of how Victor Hicks has come in and destroyed you with his arm. The rain that we're starting to see right now, this could really help John Glenn silence the dual threat quarterback of Plymouth right now.
I'll tell you what, man, that wind is really kicking up out there.
You can see it right now. You can just see how the wind is pushing this rain right across the field.
And it is a chilly night here in Westland, Michigan, and a timeout now on the field. And I think Mike Sawchek wants to talk this one over and give the wind some time to calm down. And you can hear it in the microphone right there. I mean, it is whipping on the field. There's a flag on the south side of the end zone just by the scoreboard, and it looks like it's going to fall off.
Yeah, that's for sure, getting pulled right off the pole right now.
So this homecoming game now takes another turn. Now the elements kick in. 21-7, John Glenn trails. So now let's go back and take a look at how this game has unfolded so far. The Rockets got on the board first with a 98-yard touchdown run from Jeremy Langford. They played well defensively on the first couple series for Plymouth, but then the Wildcats came back, scored 21 unanswered points, an 8-yard touchdown run from Victor Hicks, a 47-yard touchdown pass from Hicks to Brennan Byer, and then a 20-yard touchdown pass from Hicks to Jacob Morris. The Rockets then on their next possession, one play, 80 yards the other way, Jeremy Langford takes it in, and that's where we stand currently with 3:19 to go, 21-14 in favor of Plymouth.
You and I talked a little bit before the game, Ryan, of if it started to rain, because we had rain earlier today, of how much this could really help John Glenn, because it would. A slippery football is not a fun football to throw, and it's not a fun one to catch at all. So this really could benefit John Glenn in getting some momentum. So we're going to see Plymouth probably run the football a little bit more as we see them in the power hour.
Yep, they totally changed up their offense here. Hicks now going to hand it off to Caldwell. Got a couple blockers in front of him, but he's dragged down in the backfield. Caleb Clenny gets in there and makes the tackle. As you said, they brought in that power I instead of bringing out that 5-wide set. So the timeout by Mike Sawchuk worked to perfection. The wind sort of slowed down just a little bit. But the rain continues to fall in a heavy mist.
Yeah, I can't really see the rain right now on the screen, but you can tell if you look into the lights, it's still coming down at a pretty good misting rate right now.
So that was a gain of 1. Now we'll bring up 2nd down and 9. 2:40 to go here, second quarter. And Hicks has to look at his armband. These must be plays that they're not familiar with running. Hand off now again to Caldwell. He'll take it up the middle, and nowhere to go as the Rocket defense just penetrating and stopping him. Aaron Smith in there, as well as Javarius Snowden.
Right now it's working into John Glenn's favor, the running game that Plymouth is forced to go to. John Glenn's defensive line is very good, very stout. They will make you earn every yard you get up the middle. And right now it's really affecting Plymouth of how this weather has drastically changed. So again, you even said it, he looked down at his armband, he wasn't really familiar of what's really going on, and it's really going to disrupt the flow of Plymouth right here.
And Caldwell not much of a north-south back, he's more east-west to make you miss. Clock continues to run here, second quarter, 1:49 to go. Now they're going to go out in that shotgun set, something they're more familiar with. Hicks going to take it, now rolls out left. Got a man, corner of the end zone, and that one's going to be caught. Let's see if they got in, and the officials say they do. Jacob Morris comes up with his second touchdown pass of the game, and Plymouth now extends their lead 27-14.
Jacob Morris showed right there why a wide receiver is a quarterback's best friend. The play broke down. It's in the scramble drill. You saw Victor Hicks roll to his left. Jacob Morris comes back to the football, so a pass play could be completed. He came down, turned his head, saw he only had to go a short distance, dives for a touchdown.
Kyle Brenza now in to attempt the extra point. Morris to hold. Kick is up. And that one is good again. Fourth extra point of this ball game, and now Plymouth leads by 2 touchdowns, 28-14. They go 61 yards on 5 plays and cap it off with a 14-yard touchdown pass from Victor Hicks to Jacob Morris.
Right now putting this game back up at two-possession ball game in favor of the Wildcats on homecoming.
And you go back to the defensive stop that the Rockets made. After John Glenn scored on that 80-yard touchdown run from Jeremy Langford, we said the defense really needed to step up. They stepped it up. They forced a 3-and-out. The Rockets were moving the ball in their offensive series, but the fumbles what hurt them. And turnovers might have been a key to this game. And right now, because of that turnover, it's a 2-possession game again.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Ryan. Very good point. That costly turnover, trying to do a little too much. We've seen Langford do a lot himself today, both on offense and defense, finishing up tackles, making long runs, trying to do the little extra effort, and it did. It cost him. And that touchdown might be the straw that broke the camel's back for John Glenn.
So Brenza now will attempt to kick off again. Every time he's kicked off today, it has went out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Jeremy Langford and Devarius Jenkins are back deep for John Glenn if, for whatever reason, this kick falls short. Now he's kicking into the wind, and a fair catch by Steve Wakeford at the 28-yard line. So the Rockets now will take over 1st and 10, and as I said, kicking into the wind. The wind has slowed down a little bit, but there is still some out there.
Yeah, there's some out there. You can kind of see it. The rain, as you can tell in the lights, that's how I'm kind of gauging the wind right now. Kind of slowing down. It's not really going to our left, our right to our left. Wind has died down, but if I'm Plymouth and you have a strong leg like Kyle Brenza has, kick it to the end zone. Make John Glenn work for it, and don't help out their own cause of getting back into this football game.
So now Jeremy Langford, who lined up at tailback, going to line up at receiver. Kulikowski now going to drop back to pass. Steps up into the pocket, airs one out. This one intended for Langford. He goes up for it, and pass falls incomplete. Good coverage by Plymouth. As stride for stride with Langford was Prince Dallowall.
Great job there. It was a jump ball. Langford had to come back and look for it. And it was a great defensive job right there by Plymouth, and a jump ball, batting it down, making sure Langford could not come down with the catch.
The Rockets do have 3 timeouts. Minute 25 to go here, second quarter. They're down by 14 points, and they will get the ball back to start second half action. So you would hope that if you're a Rocket fan, they can get the ball into the end zone here.
Wildcat formation again for the Rockets.
Langford now will take it, fakes the handoff, going to take it himself up the middle, and nowhere to go. Pressure got back there. Anthony Rhodes making the tackle. Good to see him check back into the game after limping off the field with what appeared to be a twisted ankle.
Yeah, good old-fashioned walking it off. If you're hurt, walk it off. We've heard coaches say that for years. Get back into the ball game. Do not be a part of the walking wounded. And he does. He gets into the ball game, gets in, makes a tackle.
So no gain on the play. Just under a minute to go. Rockets not using any of their timeouts yet, facing 3rd down and 10. Ben, I think this might be where you want to break out if you're going to run with Langford, a pass down the field, a little trickery.
Maybe a screen pass to Langford. Who knows?
Murphy now in front of Jeremy. Kulikowski under center. Pitch will go to Langford. Does the reverse to Devarius Jenkins. He's got a blocker in front of him, which is Kulikowski. And Jenkins picks up the first down. Just pushed out at the 40-yard line, so he doesn't get as far as he wanted, as Kulikowski was his lead blocker. And had he got around the edge like that, he might have been gone, as Kulikowski was going to block the safety. But nonetheless, the Rockets pick up a first down, and the clock will stop as they go out of bounds.
You got to love it when a quarterback comes in, puts his nose down, and helps out his team, showing the leadership of blocking, not doing kind of a, I'm going to fall down, I'm going to make the guy kind of go around me to make the tackle, going in and making the tackle. It was a great job by the Wildcats, preventing it from being 6 points.
It's a nice little reverse. Everybody focusing on Langford touching the ball, trying to get it in other playmakers' hands. Now from the shotgun, Kulikowski going to pass. Sets his feet, throws to the right sideline. Pass intended for Langford falls incomplete. As the rain has stopped here at Kionka Field. They're going to do their best to keep dry balls in this game throughout, even when the rain is falling. But that one, I think, was just overthrown by Kulikowski.
Yeah, we have a saying here in Michigan, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. It'll change.
Right.
Sure enough, it did.
Now 29 seconds remaining. Still 3 timeouts, and the Rockets have to find a way to score here. Officials switching the ball out. Langford now again coming in for the Wildcat. Nope, they're going to put Kulikowski back under center. Kulikowski now will fake the handoff. Throws this one to Jeremy Langford off his hand, and it's intercepted going the other way. Plymouth picks it off. There was a flag down on the field, but Jeremy Langford just could not haul it in, hit his hand, and James Eminger comes up with the interception, and we'll see what the flag is now.
Yeah, that's a mistake right there by Kulikowski throwing it. Usually if you throw it to the outside shoulder, you make sure it hits the shoulder and not a player's hands to where he turns around and has to get a football. Benefits the Wildcats because that penalty was against John Glenn, which they're going to easily decline and get this ball back with 22 seconds left.
They called an illegal shift against the Rockets, so it is declined, and Plymouth now with an opportunity to expand their lead. They're already up 14 points, 28-14, 22 seconds left.
With the rain stopping, look to them to go to the air. Home run hit right now.
So far, that's been the key to this game for Plymouth, as they've attacked John Glenn's corners. So Hicks now from the shotgun. Plymouth with 1 timeout remaining. Tenari and Caldwell back there with him. Hicks is going to throw. John Glenn brings the pressure. Hicks steps up in the pocket. He's going to take it himself down to the 30. And he's going to take it out of bounds. And now 16 seconds remaining and a gain of 7.
Good awareness right there by Victor Hicks. Seeing he saw the sideline and Stepped out of bounds, going to stop the clock, and it's going to allow Plymouth to probably get 3 plays off with this high-paced offense. Try to go to the end zone first. If that doesn't work, try to set up a play for another touchdown go-ahead, and you still have your timeouts that you haven't used yet.
So lining up at receiver, Jacob Morris on the far side of your screen. On the near side is Anthony Maurice. Arian Caldwell in the backfield. Hicks from the shotgun again. He's going to throw. Stephen Murphy brings the pressure. Hicks rolls out of it. Now to his left. Davidson now tries for the tackle. Breaks that tackle. Javarius Snowden missed him. And Hicks now trying to fight his way into the end zone. Stopped about the 2-yard line, and a flag has come down.
Yeah, right there, usually when it's coming down with the clock, you usually see a quarterback, wide receiver, running back, whoever has the football step out of bounds. But Plymouth still has 2 timeouts left.
An illegal block in the back, so that great run by Victor Hicks will be negated and will be pushing Plymouth back. So now they're going to be forced to throw into the end zone with 5 seconds left, but they have some pretty good receivers to throw to.
I was actually going to bring this up to you, Ryan. You expect them to go to the end zone. Would it be okay with a great kicker that you have in Kyle Brenza just to take the points you have right now and almost put this game a little bit more and more out of reach?
Absolutely, and it looks like they're going to do that. They're going to talk it over. They're going to take their final timeout of the first half, and we've talked so much about Kyle Brenza and what he brings to this team. Right now the ball is at the 24-yard line, so you're talking a 42-yard field goal.
He has the range to do it. We saw him do it in warm-ups today. He has the capability of kicking it anywhere from about 52 yards.
And only 1 second remains on the clock. So there was 5. It's now down to 1. And we've seen Brenza boot those kickoffs out of the back of the end zone all night tonight. Let's see what he can do here on a field goal. Again, just about a 42-yarder. Set to hold is Jacob Morris. There's the snap. Kick. It's up. It's long enough. Now let's see what it is. It's no good. Just to the left of the upright, and that's all she will write here in the first half of action in the homecoming game between John Glenn and Plymouth. The Wildcats hold a 28-14 lead. When we come back, we'll have third quarter action. You're watching WLND Friday Night Football.
like to come down. He's like shaking it to come down. He was like.
Ben, right now it's 28-14 in favor of Plymouth. We talked about Salagi's secrets to the game earlier to find out what could happen, and so far Plymouth has taken advantage of some things. What have you seen?
Well, the secrets to success so far for John Glenn, Jeremy Langford, he's being all the offense. He's being the heart and soul for John Glenn. He got off early to the 98-yard touchdown run, opening up scoring of today's game. And then in the second quarter, he had a one-and-done run of 80 yards. Aaron Smith has came in, cleaned up some group tackles. He's applied pressure to Victor Hicks, but he hasn't gotten that much-needed sack that we're looking for. And the field position battle so far hasn't really hurt them too much today, so that's a positive for John Glenn. Plymouth, the two-headed monsters being a threat of one. Victor Hicks getting it done on the ground with an 8-yard touchdown run. He tied the game with that. And he went to the air 3 times, connecting 1 to Brennan Byer and 2 to Mr. Morris, Jacob Morris. And we talked about a little bit to watch out for a change in the playbook. We've seen John Glenn go to the Wildcat, but we saw an interesting view of the Wildcat. We saw like a kitchen sink offensive line where we saw everybody just block for one of Langford's touchdown runs. It was the one for the one-and-done, 80 yards.
Interesting things that have happened so far in this ball game, and because of everything that's been going on, we've seen heavy rain, heavy winds, and a 14-point advantage for Plymouth. They lead 28-14. And Jeremy Langford again now from the Wildcat. He'll take the snap up to about the 35-yard line. And then you talked about Langford's success early in this game. He had that 98-yard touchdown run. He also had an 80-yard touchdown run that was called back, which didn't prove to be too costly, as they eventually did score an 80-yard touchdown run a couple drives later. But the thing that really sticks out in my mind, too, is what Plymouth defense did to the Rockets offense, forcing 2 turnovers there at the end of the first half where the Rockets were trying to tie this ball game up. Langford fumbled, and then there was an interception off Steve Kulikowski off a tip pass. The pass intended for Jeremy Langford, and James Eminger came away with it. Kulikowski now hands it off up the middle to Langford, and he's fighting his way forward towards the first down, and he's going to be dragged just short Looks to be about the 39. Let's see where the officials spot the ball at here.
Looks like it's going to be spotted at the 39-yard line.
So I'll bring up third down and short, and Ben, that interception didn't hurt the Rockets too bad because Plymouth shot themselves in the foot with a couple penalties there at the end of the first half, and they tried going for a 42-yard field goal, and it was just left by Kyle Brenza.
Yeah, dodged a bullet right there. Kyle Brenza usually nails field goals like that, but they dodged a bullet.
So still that two-possession lead, and Kulikowski now will take it on the quarterback keeper. He'll pick up a yard, and that will move the chains. So a first down for John Glenn as they try to make this a one-possession game. And if you look at the way both teams sit, 4-1 in the division. They sit behind 5-0 Canton. Other teams within the division, Livonia Franklin 3-2 facing Canton tonight. Wayne Memorial 2-3 facing Livonia Churchill, and Churchill sits at the bottom of the division, 1-4 overall. So this game will lock up who's the second best team in the KLAA South Division.
Yeah, both teams need to win 2 of their final 4 games to reach the playoffs. So not only will that help determine the race at the top, but it's also going to help determine where your playoff push is right now.
And up now we'll go to Jeremy Langford again. He'll take it up the middle, and you mentioned winning 2 of your final 4 games, and obviously both teams would love to make the postseason, as any high school team would. John Glenn's not been there since 2004. Plymouth looking to make it for their 3rd straight year, and there is still an outside chance that if Glenn wins out, that they would host the playoff game, but first they got to find a way to get back into this ball game.
Usually home field advantage really helps in a playoff game situation, but in high school football, you can always go in, pull the upset. If you have the most dominant team, more dominant player, that's all that really matters. So, yeah, you would love to have that game at home, but it doesn't, like I said before, it doesn't really matter.
And up now we'll go to Jeremy Langford up the left side, and he'll be wrapped up by a couple of defenders. James Eminger, the first one to reach him. And that might be enough to move the chains. The official's going to look at the spot and make their decision. Setting the ball down, and they're going to say first down. So second first down on this drive, and the Rockets so far moving the ball pretty well on the ground as Jeremy Langford, the workhorse, continues to pound away.
We've seen the officials a couple of times today getting into a conference, making sure they're making the right calls, and so far that right there helps John Glenn. We had a controversial call with Langford's fumble that we didn't know if he got down or not, and they conferred for it for a good period of time, but it seems like these officials are just determined to get it right.
Now from the Wildcat again, Langford going to take it. He'll go up the right side. That's the side Kulikowski went in to throw a block, and he'll pick up just about a yard. And the thing the Rockets just have to do is, again, not turn the ball over and just find a way to move the ball down the field. Defensively, they were holding their own for a while, but Plymouth scored 21 unanswered points, and it was because Plymouth was abusing and taking advantage of John Glenn's secondary. And Ben, you and I were talking during the half that the John Glenn secondary really hasn't been tested much this year, but Plymouth really taken advantage of it.
Yeah, that's very true. A lot of people have not really thrown the football against John Glenn, and we've seen in high school football it's very run-dominated, and for that reason is because high schools don't know how good their quarterback is, or a kid that's playing quarterback. And right there we saw Jeremy Langford rush for very close for a first down. But with John Glenn's secondary, and I'm getting back to my point, if you have a good enough player who can throw the football as Victor Hicks is, he can exploit a weak secondary, and so far John Glenn needs to shore that up, or it's going to be a long, long night for John Glenn in homecoming.
And the Rockets faced a pretty good offense in Livonia Franklin last week that gave them a scare, and the defense really had to clamp down there at the end of the game as they were up 34-14. But the Patriots came back and scored 14 unanswered to make it close in the end. Right there, it was a botched snap on this last play. Langford was able to pick it up, gain 8 yards, so now it's third down and short. Langford now will take it up the left side, and he will pick up a first down as the Rockets continue to move the football.
Right now you're starting to see those adjustments come in from the half, getting the momentum, trying to get it back for John Glenn. So far moving the ball at will against Plymouth.
So far 8 plays on this drive. They have 3 first downs. They started at their own 30-yard line, chewing up a bunch of clock here in the third quarter. 8:24 to go, down 28-14. Now Steve Kulikowski again will go under center. Plymouth showing blitz from the right side. They do not bring in. Handoff now will go to Langford. Got stacked up. Now trying to go back up the middle. And how about that? He was bottled up. Had nowhere to go. Found just a little hole up the middle and dove forward and picked up a good chunk. They're going to give him 8 on the play.
That's why he's getting looked at by Division I schools. He waits for a hole to open. He's very patient. He lets the game come to him. And that's the sign of a great halfback. He gets explosive right when he sees a small opening. We saw it on the first touchdown. He ran for 98 yards. We saw it right there, shortening up that gap, putting the ball at the 30-yard line.
Jeremy Langford, everything on this drive right now. 7:35 to go.
It's been everything so far for John Glenn as well.
Yes, he has been what has kept them in this ball game. Kulikowski now will fake the pitch to Murphy, now hands it to him, and he's got nowhere to go. And Murphy just dragged down in the backfield by a couple of Plymouth defenders, and it looked like that play was designed to fake the pitch to Langford, but Langford did not get out of his spot in the backfield quick enough, and Murphy just brought down in the backfield.
Yeah, definitely some confusion there for John Glenn. You're right, it did seem like it was a design maybe pitch out or fake handout, maybe pitch, and Jeremy did not seem to know exactly where he needed to be on the field.
So that now brings up 3rd down and 4. And Langford now will again stay in the backfield. Murphy now lines up as the tight end on the left-hand side of the screen. Kulikowski now will hand it off. He's now over to the left side, makes a man miss, down to the 20, fighting his way down to the 15-yard line. And again, Jeremy Langford was very patient. He waited for a hole to open up, cut to the left side, made one man miss, dove forward. It's another first down for the Rockets, and so far a very impressive drive here to start the second half.
Jeremy Langford's huge asset that he has going for him besides his legs and speed is the vision, how he sees the field. He saw a great opportunity for a cutback, didn't get pressured by anyone for Plymouth, and turned a lot of nothing into a lot of something right there.
So now the 4th first down of this drive. Rockets threatening, 1st and 10 on the 16-yard line. Langford again now will go from that Wildcat. Murphy back there with him. Fakes. He does hand it off to Murphy. Looked like he was going to fake it and take off, but Murphy rolls with it. His helmet does come off. And the Wildcats were all over Murphy at that time as he was brought down by Philip Eminger.
Great observation by you, Ryan. It looked like he wanted to pull the ball out. He was kind of looking to his coaching staff after the play, and he did kind of like the pullback motion because he didn't understand really what he wanted to do there. So the great call by you, Ryan. Good eyes.
So 2nd down and 10, no gain on the play. Thank you, partner. Rockets trail 28-14. Trying to win their 2nd straight game. Plymouth looking to win their 3rd.
That's what I'm here for, Ryan. I got your back. Don't worry.
So again from this Wildcat. Langford now will take it as the option to pitch. Now going to cut up the middle. Found a hole. Fighting his way down inside the 10-yard line. Down to about the 6. And that will be just short of a first down.
Ryan, you've said a couple of times this drive, making a guy miss. Right there, he made 3 guys miss. Made himself really small, and they all hit each other at the same time, and he used his explosiveness to get close to that first down marker. It's going to be 3rd and short. And
you have to really credit, too, Plymouth's defense. They're forcing Langford to cut inside. They're not allowing them to have that outside edge. Those defensive ends are really trying to stretch the field, make Langford stay inside, run towards the tackles where their extra help is with their linebackers and the safeties. And so far, Plymouth doing a good job, but Langford diving forward, picking up the extra yardage. And it now brings up 3rd down and 1. And a hard count. Looks like it drew the defense off sides, but we'll see if it's encroachment or if it's going to be a false start. The Rockets are thinking it's encroachment, which would be a first down and half the distance to the goal. And the officials are going to mark it off, and that's exactly what it is. So now will be 1st and goal inside the 5. We'll call it the 3 for John Glenn.
Great decision right there. Give a nice little hard count and make sure you can get that easy first down without running a play. And that's the first time we've seen a hard count today by John Glenn, and it worked to their favor.
And off now will go to Langford. He'll try it up the middle, but he's botched up. Brennan Byer right there to make the tackle, as well as Anthony Rhodes. Which should be just about a gain of 1. So 2nd and goal from the 2.
that Jeremy just got bottled up by those two defenders right there, didn't have an opportunity to go anywhere. And we've seen John Glenn run this kind of power eye with an offset back to try to get Jeremy an opportunity to get as much blockers in front of him. We've seen a lot of different looks. He scored off the very first play like that, and it looks like John Glenn's going to be keeping true to that cause so far in this drive.
So let's see what they do here. They trail 28-14. Handoff now will go to Stephen Murphy. He'll fight his way forward. And the Rockets think they got it, but no sign yet. But now the officials come in and say touchdown. So John Glenn will put it in from 2 yards out. Stephen Murphy, the ball carrier, and John Glenn now trails 28-20.
We talked about Jeremy Langford making himself smaller. Right there, you already have a small guy in Stephen Murphy. Granted, he's 6 feet tall, but he can make himself short. Got low to the ground, made a guy miss. Got the second effort to get inside to the touchdown. Excellent move by Stephen Murphy.
And to attempt the extra point is Rob Lopez. So far perfect on the night, 2 for 2. Extra point is up, and that one is good. So the Rockets go 70 yards on 14 plays. They chew up just over 8 minutes of clock here in the third quarter, and they cap it off with a 2-yard touchdown run from Stephen Murphy.
That's huge for John Glenn, slowly chipping away at that lead for Plymouth. And it's getting the crowd back into it a little bit, which you need on a homecoming celebration such as today.
That was a big score. And, you know, we've seen the Rockets move the ball, efficiently up and down the field. Now, granted, they did have those 3 times they had to punt in a row early in this ball game. But we've seen them move the ball efficiently, really, on their last 4 drives. On the 1 touchdown drive, that 80-yarder by Langford. And then the one that Langford fumbled on, they were just across midfield, just about the 45-yard line when Langford put it on the turf, and then that interception drive. So the last 3, you include this one, 4 drives, the Rockets have been able to move the ball offensively against this Plymouth defense.
They're moving the ball at will, and it's thanks to that offensive line that doesn't get as much credit as they pretty much deserve, and they've been really holding that line of scrimmage, forcing Plymouth to play on their heels a little bit, and mixing up to the one thing I like about that touchdown, you mixed it up. You didn't give it to Langford. You gave it to Stephen Murphy, a little change of pace, little up the middle, making him a part of your offense as well, and it's going to make the defense stay honest throughout the rest of this game.
3 returners back deep, Darrell Jenkins, Janarian Caldwell, and Tyler Grosh. This kick now will roll, and it's going to be fielded by Tyler Grosh there about the 20-yard line. He'll take it up the left sideline, and he's going to be dragged out of bounds by Caleb Clenny. Well, the Wildcats now will have their first offensive possession here in the second half at the 40-yard line, and if you're Mike Sawchuk and that Plymouth offense, do you still go to the air, or are you now focusing on keeping it on the ground and running the clock as well?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Ryan. You went to the air. We talked about it. John Glenn's secondary not as formidable as a lot of people want to believe, and you've had mismatches there. You've taken advantage of those mismatches. So right now, keep with what got you here so far. Don't just start turning to be one-dimensional. Keep them guessing.
So they now will go from that tight set. Hicks now going to take it on a quarterback keeper. He'll try it up the middle and had nowhere to go. John Glenn's defense plugged the hole, and guess who that was there, big guy? Aaron Smith comes in with the tackle.
Aaron Smith having the nose to the football, making sure that Victor Hicks couldn't go anywhere, wrapped up his ankles, held on for dear life. He's a strong kid, just pulled him down to the turf.
You talked about Aaron Smith really being a Salagi's secret to success today, and so far he has. He's been on a couple solo tackles and also assisted. He's been all over the field helping out that defense.
He's a great anchor to any defense, and he's showing why. He was one of my keys to the game.
So now 2nd down and 10, no gain on the play. They now flip the formation. And I'm surprised the flag doesn't come out. As I say that, we see the near judge throw his flag as the receiver took off early, and Jacob Morris, and that will be a false start against the Wildcats, and that'll back them up 5 yards. And really, penalties have been a story for Plymouth all game long. The Rockets have not been able to capitalize, though, when they get them in those 3rd and long situations, because Victor Hicks has had all day to throw the ball and found open receivers.
Yeah, penalties did stall them before the end of the half from getting 6. They had to revert to try to get him for 3, and usually with Kyle Brenza you get those 3 points, but you dodge a bullet, and yeah, right now you can't have shoot yourself in the foot and stop opportunities that you keep getting on the field.
So Hicks now will take it, 2nd down and 15, sets his feet, got a man wide open, that's Brennan Byer. He comes up with it, And he was almost brought down, but still kept his balance, gets down to the 35-yard line. And Brennan Byer again comes up with a huge reception that will move the chains, and Byer has been all over this field, and he's been able to been a reliable target for Victor Hicks.
When you're as tall as Brennan Byer is, he's a reliable target to anybody. And the very first drive that Plymouth has had, it was set up on a similar long pass play to Brennan Byer. He gives you a nice safety valve just for the sheer size that he brings onto the field. He's going to be a mismatch for anyone that's trying to cover him.
So the pressure got there for Hicks, but he stepped up in the pocket, able to deliver a perfect strike. He'll now take a low snap on a quarterback keeper. He'll fight his way forward, and he's going to be wrapped up by a couple of defenders. Joe Smizer on the bottom of the pile, grabbing the foot to trip him up. So that'll be a gain of a couple on the play. You can hear the crowd here at Kionka Field getting antsy. They realize they're down by a touchdown, and right now Plymouth on the move, trying to get back up and trying to extend their possession lead to 2.
Last time the Rockets scored, the defense played with a sense of urgency, a sense of passion, and you cannot let a long pass break that sense of urgency and that passion. So you got to start tightening up and make sure that you cannot get within the field goal range, because Kyle Brenza will make you pay for it.
Hicks now will take it, hands it off to Janarian Caldwell. He'll go up the left side. He juked a man out of his strap, and he's down to the sideline and finally dragged out of bounds by Javarius Snowden, but a nice little juking clinic right there about the 25-yard line.
You said it earlier in the broadcast, Ryan, he likes to run east and west. That's where he's good. He's great at making guys miss, and right there he made a guy miss, kept it to the outside where it's his friend, and got a nice first down for Plymouth Canton Wildcats right now.
So a minute 38 to go here, third quarter. 28-14, 28-21. I'm all about messed up right now.
You're thinking in the past, Ryan. Thinking in the past.
Reminds me of the drive that they had at the end of the first half. Hicks now will take it. He'll take it on a quarterback keeper. Now trying to bounce to the right side, and the Rockets get right in there. Stephen Murphy wraps his hands around Hicks' foot, drags him to the turf. They've been able to contain Hicks for the most part running around, but we saw Hicks with a nice little 45-yard scamper early in the second quarter where it looked like he was going to be sacked, spun out of a tackle, rolled to the left sideline, cut down to about the 30, 25-yard line, and picking up a big chunk of change.
He has his elusiveness. That's why you got to make sure you contain him, and if you have to, grab his ankles, and so far we've seen 2 tackles this drive where they've done that.
And now just under a minute to play. 28-21, Plymouth on the move, second down and 10. The Rockets were showing blitz, they pull away from it. Hicks now going to take the snap, rolls out to the right, looking, and throws it. He looked like he was going to be dragged down by Stephen Murphy, and they might get intentional grounding on this.
Yeah, it looks like that looks to be the call on the field, but it looked like he might have been down beforehand, but let's see what the officials come up with.
And they are going to call intentional grounding against Plymouth as Murphy had him, and he was just trying to drag him down, but Hicks was just trying to avoid the sack, throw it away, but the official's quick to call it.
And the thing that hurts you about intentional grounding is that you also lose a down. So that's really going to help John Glenn in their efforts. If it was second down before, it's going to make it fourth down.
So now they will back them up. As you said, they will lose the down.
I'm sorry, it's going to be third down.
Right, so second down you will not replay, so it will be third down and long.
Got ahead of myself there. You see John Glenn going in almost a prevent defense. Numerous cornerbacks, it seems like.
We've seen this before where Hicks drops back to throw. Now he's going to scramble out. Murphy got back there. Hicks on the run, and he'll pick up a good chunk of change again. That was third down and 20, and he'll pick up about 12 yards, so it now will bring up fourth down and 8. And Ben, we talked about Kyle Brenza being the stud kicker. This would be a 2-possession game again if he can kick this field goal.
Yes, it will. It will be a 2-possession game, but the thing I like about Aaron Smith is that tackle saved a touchdown run by Victor Hicks. He was the only one that would have touched him. And now you're settling for points on the field.
So the field goal is no good. A 26-yarder by Kyle Brenza goes just to the right, and that will end third quarter action here at Kionka Field. The Rockets defense comes up big. Kyle Brinza misses his second field goal of the game, and the Rockets now have an opportunity to tie it when we come back. Again, 28-21 into third quarter. We'll be back with fourth quarter action after this. And back here at Kionka Field for fourth quarter action in this homecoming game. The Rockets trail by 7, 28-21. I'm Ryan Woolley alongside Ben Salagi. Glad you could join us, and we got a good one going on. The Rockets trailed 28-14 at the start of the third quarter, used 8 minutes and 5 seconds of the clock, used 14 plays and drove 70 yards to make it 28-21. They come up with a big defensive stand on this last drive and missed field goal, and now the Rockets have the opportunity to tie or possibly take the lead on this drive. And Ben, we saw a lot of the Wildcat. We just saw it again right there. Jeremy Langford, the ball carrier. What are you expecting the Rockets to do offensively here?
Offensively, I'm expecting the Rockets just to keep feeding their star right now in Jeremy Langford. He's been getting you the opportunities you need, and they've been capitalizing off of them. All the bounces so far going, it seems like, in John Glenn's favor, so don't stop what you're doing.
Well, 3-yard gain on that last play. Second down and 7. Kulikowski now back under center. Takes the snap, hands it off to Langford. He'll go up the left side, and he'll fight his way forward, dragging a couple defenders with him as Philip Imminger there on top of him to make the tackle. But a good gain on the play, a gain of 8 and a first down for the Rockets.
Yeah, the second effort right there by Jeremy Langford. He got hit at right around about the 27, but he took the guy on for a ride, and the chains move as well. Is going to be first down for John Glenn.
Well, I'll tell you what, if the Rockets can move the ball as efficiently as they did with their first possession there in the third quarter, Plymouth may not have an opportunity to touch the ball here in the fourth. If they can eat up as much clock as they can, and then you have the decision, well, do you go for the extra point to tie it and go to overtime, or do you go for the win? Well, that's all later on. That's something you decide after you get the ball in the end zone.
Well, that's why you don't change your plan of attack. Keep it on the ground with Jeremy Langford, because you will. You'll eat up the clock.
And there he is right there. He takes it from the Wildcat, bounces it to the right side, and he's finally pushed out of bounds by Brennan Byer across midfield at the 49, and Langford just showing his elusiveness, broke 2 tackles on that play, and again, another Rocket first down.
Jeremy Langford understands the importance of homecoming and the importance of this game. We talked about it earlier. You need to win 2 of your final 4, and Jeremy Langford is putting the team on his back, and he's carrying them as far as he can go right now.
You know, it's funny because Jeremy Langford last week when they beat Livonia Franklin, it was the first time in his career that he has personally defeated Livonia Franklin, and he said afterwards, I haven't beaten Franklin in 3 years. I just had to leave it all on the field. First half, they did a good job of using different plays, and we wanted to mix it up, and so far they're doing the same thing here. He's never beaten Plymouth, trying to do it here. And a timeout now on the field after the ball was snapped, but the whistles blow it, or the officials blow it down, rather. And that's John Glenn's first timeout, so how special would it be in back-to-back weeks to defeat 2 teams that you've not beaten in your entire high school career as a senior?
It's really important, especially, and you see that senior leadership with Jeremy. He knows the importance of these games. You brought it up with his quote from last week, and this week, as you said before, they have yet to beat Plymouth. So he understands that his team needs to follow his leadership and get the job done. So far, so good, as we see Jeremy Langford carrying the Rockets further and further down the field.
Again, they lost to Plymouth last year, 19-0, fell 15-7 back in 2006, and of course Plymouth broke apart from Salem and Canton back in 2004. So only the 3rd all-time meeting between the 2 schools. And Plymouth jumped out to a 14-point advantage, but the Rockets have since made it a 1-possession game, now trying to tie it up on this drive. It's 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line of the Wildcats. 10:38 to go. Homecoming here at Kionka Field, and it's a good one. The band's here, crowd's here, alumni's here. Everybody is amped for this game. Both teams came in 4-1. Langford now will take the snap. He'll take it up the middle. He's got a hole, and no one's going to catch him. He's going to go for a touchdown, but a flag quickly came down, and that just goes to show you that quick how fast a game can change when the ball is in number 23's hands, but also how fast the game can change when a holding call sets that touchdown and brings it back.
We saw it earlier in the game, a touchdown, a great 80-yard touchdown run by Jeremy Langford, get called back for holding. Right now we see a 49-yard touchdown run come back for holding as well. Points being left on the field, missed opportunities by both Plymouth and by John Glenn. Right now the difference, John Glenn is missing out on 12 points. Plymouth missing out on those field goals by 6 points.
So penalties have hurt both teams. So that now will bring up a 1st and 15 for the Rockets. But again, that quick. Jeremy Langford can change the course of a game with one play.
He's very explosive, and you're right. He can do that. He can change the momentum at will.
So again, they will come out in the Wildcat. Murphy, Kulikowski, Steve Wakeford, and Devarius Jenkins all lined up on the left side, and that's where Langford's going to run. Now he's going to cut it back up the middle, and doesn't have much room to go as he's met by a couple of defenders. But Tate Brayboy coming up with the tackle. Rockets trail 28-21, just over 10 minutes to go. Again, both of these teams 4-1 on the season. They both lost to Canton. Plymouth lost 49-7. John Glenn lost 44-6. Langford had 204 yards in that game. All-purpose yards, that is. But Plymouth did a good job of sealing the outside edges, not allowing Jeremy to bounce to the outside. And so far, Plymouth has done the same thing here today. But Jeremy's been able to squeak by on a couple of blocks, but a couple of them have resulted because of the holding calls, and that's why the play has been called back. Langford now going to pass. Got a man wide open. That's Devarius Jenkins. He comes up with it. He's now at the 10, the 5. He's in. Touchdown, Rockets. Jeremy Langford from the Wildcat. We had been waiting for it. Drop back, rolled to the right. Look for Devarius Jenkins down the field. Connects with him. And the Rockets now trail by 1, 28-27.
Ryan, you mentioned we looked for it in the first half. You saw Jeremy Langford kind of seem like he was going to throw the football, and that is what set up that touchdown pass right there. He came out, rolled to his right, pulled the ball down, faked like he was going to run to the outside, saw a wide open man in Devarius Jenkins, takes it to 6. We have a whole new ball game in the fourth quarter, Ryan.
Well, here we go. Extra point now being attempted by the Rockets. The hold, the kick. It hit the left upright and bounced out.
Oh, that's crucial.
Oh, how about that? Rob Lopez, it looked like the kick might have been partially blocked, but it hits the left upright, bounced out, did not take a Rocket bounce, and now the Rockets still trail 28-27.
So much for a whole new ball game. That could come back and haunt you. That could come back and haunt you in a big, big, big way if you're John Glenn.
So they go 80 yards on 5 plays and cap it off with a 53-yard touchdown pass from Jeremy Langford to Devarius Jenkins. And you mentioned that I said it early in the first half that we were just waiting for Langford to throw. We had that 23-yard touchdown pass to Stephen Wakeford last week against Livonia Franklin. This time it catches Plymouth off guard, and Jenkins able to take it in, but still that extra point might come up big. The Rockets now have to find a way to get this football back, not trailing.
It was a good way to catch Plymouth off guard. John Glenn has only thrown the ball maybe just a handful of times, so they weren't really expecting it. They were expecting Jeremy just to keep running it because they were methodical. And that's great coaching by Tim Harden, lulling that defense to sleep, changing it up on them, throwing the football. Because last week when Plymouth played, they gave up 222 yards through the air, and that was crucial right there.
So 9:29 to go. Rockets pretty much ran the ball all game, continuing to open up the playbook. As you said, Rockets trying to take over where Churchill left last week by throwing the ball. Rockets now down by 1, and let's see what they can do here on the kickoff. They will boot it deep. And this one will be fielded by Tyler Grosh on the right sideline. Trying to cut back across, and he had nowhere to go, and he'll take it up to about the 42-yard line, and that's where Plymouth now will take over 1st and 10 for their second possession of the second half.
Right now I'm looking for John Glenn's defense to play with that, to being inspired, playing with heart, playing with emotion. It's the fourth quarter. You leave everything out on the field, especially when it's homecoming, because it's even that more special and that more crucial, especially when you've never beaten a team in Plymouth. So right now I'm looking for a very inspired defense by John Glenn.
Well, do you think there's more pressure now on Plymouth, where on the last 2 drives they've missed out on 6 points with those 2 missed field goals, so now there's more pressure on Victor Hicks?
I believe there is, yes, because you've allowed 13 unanswered points in the second half.
Handoff now will go to Caldwell, and he'll take it up the left side, and he's going to be dragged down by Jeremy Langford and a couple other defenders as they just wrestle him to the turf. Joining Langford back there was Cameron Jones. And a gain of 4 on the play, and will now bring up 2nd down and 6.
As you said, Ryan, the pressure would be on Plymouth because they've allowed 13 unanswered. Their offense is stalled. They've missed on opportunities. They need to, if they want to seal this victory, they need to come down the field the other way and shut up John Glenn's defense. That's why I said they got to play inspired. You got to play with heart because there's a lot of momentum riding on this drive right now.
And you know that defense is jacked for the Rockets, coming up with those big stops. And those 2 missed field goals could also play a crucial part in how this game finishes. Just about 8 minutes and 30 seconds to go here, 4th quarter. Rockets down by 1, 28-27. Victor Hicks now will take it. He's now going to roll. He's looking to throw. Tries to set his feet. Could not do it. Pressure comes. Man wide open there at the 30-yard line, and it's completed. Another big first down for the Wildcats as Hicks able to find Philip Schultz for a first down.
It's the scramble drill we've talked about before. A wide receiver coming back to the football to help out the quarterback. Right now we had, earlier in the game, we had a touchdown pass off of that by Jacob Morris coming back to the football, helping out Victor Hicks. This time we saw it from Philip Schultz, and it's keeping the drive alive for Plymouth.
So a fresh set of downs now at the 31-yard line inside John Glenn territory, and Hicks just showing why he's so elusive. Now he's going to take it on a quarterback keeper up the middle, and Aaron Smith quickly wraps him up. Brings him down along with Stephen Murphy and Jeremy Langford.
Right now it's crucial if John Glenn can keep them out of the end zone because weighing on your head, if you're a great kicker like Kyle Brenza is, you've missed 2 missed field goals. So you want to put that pressure back on Plymouth right now because he's missed 2. He needs to make another one to put this game to put the pressure back on John Glenn to score.
So the officials now having a conference at the left hash mark of the 30-yard line. I don't know what they could be discussing right now. The clock has stopped. 8:01 to play. Unless it never started on that last play. And that's exactly what it is. So they're going to run some time off the clock. So they're going to run 10 seconds down to 7:51. So apparently the clock never started when Victor Hicks went on that quarterback keeper.
Referee staying on top, and usually the referees on the field, they keep the time on the field as well. So if that clock malfunctions, they can correct the time, and that's what we saw right there.
So 2nd down and 6. Handoff goes to Caldwell. Caldwell now trying to bounce it outside, being chased by Devarius Jenkins, rather. Jenkins will push him out of bounds. So the Rockets not allowing Caldwell to have the edge either. So we'll pick up just a couple on the play, and that now will bring up just about 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, Devarius Jenkins did a really great job of letting the sideline be his friend. Forced Caldwell to come stretching out that run more than he really wanted to. And you said, Ryan, he's an east-west back. If you're going to want to shorten that field, that's the shortest side of the field. And he's only going to gain about a yard or 2 off of that. So that's really good defense and containment by Devarius Jenkins.
Well, the Rockets need a big stop here. They're trying to get the crowd pumped up, cheerleaders as well. 3rd down and just about 6, so it's in between 5 and 6. 7:32 to go. Rockets trail by 1, 28-27. And Victor Hicks will take a timeout. Did not like what he saw. And that will be their first charge timeout here the second half. And Ben, I got to ask you, we've seen Victor Hicks exploit this team when there's been no pressure and able to find an open receiver. We've also seen him exploit the team when they bring the pressure and they miss the tackle. So if you're Tim Harden right now, what do you do defensively?
Defensively, you just got to keep him contained. You got to, granted, he's elusive. He can beat you with his arm, but you also have to keep him contained. Apply that pressure. You got to kind of squeeze off the oxygen to the offensive machine that he's producing right now, because a pressured quarterback does not make as good as decisions as a quarterback who's allowed to, as we've seen, scramble outside of the pocket and see an open man to keep the drive alive. So I'm looking to see a lot of pressure put on right now on Victor Hicks, because that's the only way you can get him to really think outside of his comfort zone.
You talked about Aaron Smith being a key to this game. Do you think maybe you blitz in the linebackers, keep the defensive ends out, and contain the outer edges maybe? That way he has to go up the middle into the blitz?
You're a very smart man, Ryan. Very smart man. That's exactly what I would do. I would I would do exactly that. You couldn't have said any better than myself.
So they will only bring 3 linemen. And Hicks now from the shotgun. Caldwell with him. Hicks now going to roll out to the right. Pressure starting to come. Murphy got hit. Now the pass, it's going to be completed there at the 20-yard line. I did not see who came up. It looked to be Brennan Byer, and indeed it is. So Byer again with another big third down reception, and that will move the chains. First down for the Wildcats.
Byer's size allows him to be a great safety valve in a scramble situation. We've seen a couple of times Victor Hicks look for Byer only because he's the tallest guy on the field. He's going to create natural mismatches. John Glenn did a good job of trying to deny him the football, but when you're that tall and when you can box out a cornerback or a safety or a linebacker, it's really hard to stop Byer from coming down with the football.
Well, we've seen the Rockets turn it over twice. The defense trying to get a turnover here. Now a fumbled snap, and Hicks now dodges the tackle by Vince Davidson and still makes something out of nothing. Rolls to the right sideline, pushed out of bounds by Jeremy Langford, but a low snap. Hicks able to corral it and still pick up just about 3-4 yards.
Shows Victor Hicks' explosiveness and athleticism. Fumbled snap, didn't get rattled, picked up the football, and ran with it. Right now, that was a missed opportunity by John Glenn. If you get on top of the football, maybe not recovering it, but forcing that pressure on Victor, anything can happen. It would be second down and long instead of, second down and manageable right now.
So 7:06 to go here, fourth quarter. Rockets trail by 1. The defense trying to get the football back for the offense. The Rockets had a chance to tie it up, but a missed extra point by Rob Lopez right now is the reason for that 28-27 score.
And we're going to adjust the clock to 6:59, as we just heard in the background. So, again, the clock becoming a factor if John Glenn wants to come back and get an opportunity to take the lead.
So Hicks now sending a man in motion. That's Imminger. He'll hand it off to Caldwell. Caldwell now almost dragged down in the backfield, broke 2 tackles, now trying to cut back. He broke an arm tackle by Donnell Brewer, and he's finally going to be wrapped up as looked to be Chase Glover and Vince Davidson got in there on the tackles.
Caldwell is very, very strong. We've seen it today. He's pushed off tackles, pushed off arm tackles. He pushed off 2 right there and kept the run going when he should have been stopped. This kid is very strong. I'm very impressed with his lower body strength right now.
Well, here we go again. Third down and just about 5. And the Rocket defense trying to come up with a big stop. Last time it was 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 6, it was Brennan Byer that came up with the reception at the 20. Let's see what they do here. Rockets had some pressure. Stephen Murphy got in there but could not get to the quarterback.
And here's the crowd we've heard for the first time today.
Hicks now will drop back to pass. Got a lane in front of him. Joe Smizer misses the tackle. Now rolls out to the left. Aaron Smith misses the tackle. Another missed tackle by the Rockets as Devarius Jenkins had a chance at him. And Victor Hicks shows why he can move his legs. He gets down to the 10-yard line, and that might be just short of the first down. It might bring up 4th and inches.
Yeah, Aaron Smith showed a little bit of hesitation. He could have came in, closed the play down, and that's what you kind of expect from a guy who's anchoring your defense. And Victor Hicks doing a good job staying in bounds so that clock, no matter what, is going to roll and keep working against John Glenn right now.
So his knees actually touched, so it was 4th down and 2 now. He was stopped just short. Here we go, 4th and 2 on the 11-yard line. Hicks will take the snap, hands it off to Darrell Jenkins in the backfield, and he's stopped. The John Glenn Rocket defense comes up with a big stop, and they will have an opportunity to take the go-ahead score if they can drive it down the field with 5:06 to go.
Very impressive by John Glenn right there, coming in, stopping the run, allowing your team to come back and win this very, very close football game.
That was a huge defensive stand by the Rockets. They gave up a couple of first downs on that drive. Brennan Byer came up on a 3rd down and 6, was able to pick up the first, but right there, 4th and 2, they didn't have enough faith in Kyle Brenza because he missed 2 field goals early in the game. They handed it to Darrell Jenkins, which might have been a mistake. Well, maybe you should have handed it to Caldwell, but instead they go to Jenkins. He bounces it up the middle and stopped. No gain on the play, turnover on downs.
It was a great read by the defensive line either way.
Absolutely. Now Langford will take it from the Wildcat. He really had nowhere to go, but he'll dive forward and pick up a couple of yards. Daryl Kahn will make a tackle. Well, if you're John Glenn, this is all you could have hoped for. You took a 7-0 lead, fell down 21-7. Then it was 21-14. Then it went to 28-14 at the half. You come out in the third quarter, you eat up 8 minutes of the first possession of the third quarter, go 70 yards, and you pull within one possession. A missed field goal, you go back, you come and score, miss the extra point, and your defense steps it up. You now trail 28-27. Langford now trying to find a hole. He does find one, but it's quickly closing as, again, Daryl Kahn gets in there and will make another tackle, but a gain of 3 on the play, and that will bring up just about 3rd down and 5. So 4 minutes and counting here at Kionka Field. The Rockets trying to deliver a homecoming victory for the largest crowd of the season. All the friends and family coming back, the alumni that are here. It's great to see the cheerleaders on the track, not only the freshman JV and the varsity, but also former alumni cheerleaders as well as the coaches cheering on the team today too. So 3rd down and 5. Smizer now lines up at fullback, goes to the left. Langford again from the Wildcat, rolls to the left. That's where he's going to go. Now going to cut back right, trying to shed a tackle, and he's just going to be dragged down in the backfield. He had nowhere to go.
Not a smart decision right there by Langford. He should have just kept going north and south. When you reverse the field that much, you kind of get that video game mentality, thinking that you can come a long ways around back and using your speed to outrun people, but that's going to be a costly mistake for John Glenn. Now you're putting a lot of pressure on your defense.
Well, let me ask you, it's 4th down and 12. Do you go for it here and give Plymouth a short field to score? Because then you could possibly get the ball back with over a minute or 2 to go and only be down by 8.
That's why this game's a chess match. I personally would punt it away, because if you miss it, you're giving them a very short field.
And Travis Farrar will punt it, and it will take a John Glenn bounce. It will roll up to about the 50-yard line now into side Plymouth territory, so just about the 49-yard line. So again, you got to rely on your defense. 2:42 to go. A missed opportunity for that John Glenn offense, going 3 and out and forced to punt it away.
And back to your question, Ryan. See, if you go for it there on 4th down and you miss, you would have given Plymouth the ball.
Well, that's my point.
On the 10,
Right.
if you're going to throw a passing play. If you're going to throw a screen, maybe it would be about the 15, or who knows. But right there, that's going to be a difference of about 40 yards, 40 hidden yards, and your defense has been playing really inspired football, and they can give you a stop right here.
But however, it's 2:42 left in this game. You only have 2 timeouts, so more clock is going to be run off by punting than if they would to score. So Victor Hicks now will take the snap, and he'll go forward and gain a couple. But what I was trying to get at is, if you don't get it and they get the ball on the 10-yard line, let's say they do score, then they're up by 8 points with just over 2 minutes to go. Now you have the ball with 2 minutes and 2 timeouts. Drive the length of the field, go for the 2-point conversion to try to tie this game, force in overtime. But right now, all Plymouth's worried about running the clock, and if John Glenn's lucky enough to get the stop, they'll get it back with under a minute to go.
I understand where you're coming from. I really do, but I really believe that John Glenn did a great decision, Tim Harden deciding to punt. Right now, yes, the clock is your enemy. It's coming down. It's about 2 minutes right now. And I understand where you're coming from, but you got to put faith in your defense, and that's what Tim Harden's doing right here.
And now a timeout on the field, and you would hope that's Plymouth taking the timeout, not John Glenn, because that's they're going to say a delay a game. They're trying to run as much clock as they can. As you're going to say, if John Glenn took the timeout there, that would be poor clock management. You let about 20, 25 seconds run off, but that will now back them up 5 yards.
Yeah, right now it's being a nice chess match being played by Tim Harden and Mike Sawchuk. Who's gonna crack first? And right now the advantage is for Mike Sawchuk. But right now with the clock now being down to a minute 53, the clock stopped, so it's going to help John Glenn if they can get a stop right here.
So a minute 53 to go. Rockets trail by 1, 28-27. 2nd down and 15 for the Wildcats. John Glenn does have 2 timeouts. You would expect them to use one here after this play. Victor Hicks now going to roll out right. He is going to pass. That one completed out on the sideline. Brennan Byer looked like he came up with it, and they're going to say incomplete. Juggled it as he went out of bounds.
Ball seemed to sail right through his hands, and that's really going to help you. It only chewed off about 5-6 seconds off. So that's really going to help John Glenn. They would only have to burn one timeout if they stop him right here.
So and I don't like that by Mike Sawchuk. You go back to the Michigan-Notre Dame game where Notre Dame elected to try to throw the football just to get the first down and run out the clock. Gave Michigan a couple timeouts to hold in their possession. Michigan used those to their advantage, drove down the field, and got the victory.
It's a very good point by you, Ryan, but Charlie Weiss said at the end of that Michigan game he was trying to win, and Mike Sawchuk doing probably the same mentality, doing anything he can to win because John Glenn has not stopped the passing attack so far.
Hicks now going to take it on a quarterback keeper. He's going to roll to the right. He breaks a couple of tackles. Now a third and fumble on the play. Fumble down on the play, and it looks like the Rockets recovered it. Well, Rockets signaling they do. No official announcement from the ref. They're trying to dig on the bottom of the pile. Joe Smizer says they have it. Still trying to pull people off. Now Plymouth saying they have it. And the Rockets got it. Oh, what a break. The Rockets come up with it, and it looked like Donnell Brewer was the one to recover the fumble. And John Glenn takes over, 1st and 10, 1:39 to go, and 2 timeouts.
That is crucial. How crucial is that fumble? I'll tell you how crucial it is. Stops the clock because it's a change of possession. So you have the ball with 1:39 left, and you keep your 2 timeouts. You're not forced to burn a timeout. And with an explosive playmaker like Jeremy Langford, you can take the lead in 1 and done. He's done it so far with an 80-yard run. He has a short field to work with. Anything can happen right here.
So 1:39 to go. 2 timeouts. Rockets come out with that strong eye. 2 receivers to the right. Kulikowski now going to throw. Drops back to pass. Now rolling. Looking downfield. Got a man. That's Jamar Rogers. And he dropped it. Oh, Jamar Rogers almost came up with a big play for John Glenn, but he dropped the pass, and we have an injured player for Plymouth who was on the coverage.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That would have been a huge catch by Jamar Rogers in a game where every possession right now is very crucial. It's unfortunate he dropped it, and it's really unfortunate that we have a downed player. We're trying to find out who it is right now.
Looks like it might be number 36, Prince Dallowal.
Well, that would be unfortunate for Plymouth. He's a stud for their defense.
The senior linebacker. It is in the 30s, the number-wise. It's covered up by the training staff, but it looked to be number 36. So while he's being attended to, Ben, Jamar Rogers, obviously we'd like to have that one back. We've seen Jamar Rogers drop a couple passes this season. I think back to that Livonia Churchill game where he had a couple passes that hit him right in the chest, and he couldn't haul him in, but you just got to forget about that. First down's done, 1:32 to go. You're still in prime position at your own 44-yard line. You got to move forward, not only if you're Steve Kulikowski, but Jamar Rogers.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised, but not really surprised by Tim Harden's decision to throw in that situation, because if Jamar makes the catch, you got great field position because a field goal wins you the game here. But I wouldn't necessarily take Jeremy Langford out of the game for you when it's this close. And you still have 2 timeouts to use, and it's very good we're seeing the player that was down trotting off under his own power. He should be fine.
And that was number 35, Dante Fox. He's a sophomore for the club, so it's good to see that he is okay and moving off. It looked to be number 36, but Dante Fox being helped off the field. Now 2nd and 10, 1:32 to go. Rockets trail by 1 with the football at their own 44-yard line. Kulikowski under center. He's going to throw again. Pump fakes. Jeremy Langford picks up the blitz. Going deep. Javarius Snowden holds in the catch at the 20, down to the 15-yard line, and the Rockets have a first down deep inside Plymouth territory.
Right? We said it before to the secrets of success. You might want to open up that playbook a little bit and throw the football. So far, with time winding down, they've done it so far. Jeremy Langford threw a touchdown pass to keep Plymouth off keel, and so far 2 pass plays. 1 was a missed opportunity. Great way to come back, though, by Mr. Snowden. Haul in the catch. Ball's going to be at about the 13. Now you can take shots at the end zone, or you can settle for a field goal if you absolutely need to. But that was crucial, great catch by Mr. Snowden.
A 41-yard completion to Javarius Snowden down to the 13-yard line with 1:24 to go. So keep in mind, John Glenn can still pick up a first down without scoring the touchdown, which is huge, because That clock you want to let run. Right now, I mean, the clock has been your friend on this drive, or your enemy on this drive. Now it becomes your friend because if you do score, you want to give the ball back to Plymouth with as little time as possible.
Yeah, Javari Snowden made sure John Glenn can stay in the driver's seat. You make a good point. Right now, you can still try to just get that first down, run the ball towards the center of the field to make it easier for Mr. Lopez to kick that game-winning field goal. And right now, you're in the driver's seat. Clock's on your side, even though you're down in points by 1, 28-27.
And here we go. We see Jeremy Langford now checking in the Wildcat. Langford now with the snap. He's going to roll right. He's going to follow his blockers up the middle. He'll pick up a couple of yards, fight his way inside the 10-yard line. And I'll tell you what, for these fans that stuck around through that really bad rain, through the really bad wind, and through a 28-14 deficit, they're seeing one heck of a ball game here. A gain of 5 on the play. 2nd down and 5, just over a minute to play. John Glenn trails. Fumble on the play. Jeremy Langford, he quickly falls on it, realizing, hey, my bad, taps his chest. The clock will continue to run. So they will lose 5 yards on the play, and now they will take a timeout. And that will be Plymouth will take a timeout. So that will be Plymouth's second timeout of the second half. So they will have 1 remaining. John Glenn with 1 remaining and 50 seconds on the clock. 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate right there that he had that fumbled snap by Jeremy Langford. But he did the smart thing. He didn't pick it up, try to make something out of it. Instead, he just fell on the ball because right now you're still in the driver's seat. There's 50 seconds left. If you get a field goal, you're still going to put yourself in the lead, and it's going to put Plymouth in a very, very, very awkward situation.
This has been an unbelievable game for both schools. Both schools have not given up throughout the course of the game, and both schools have had to adapt to what the other one has done. And you got to give credit to both trying to move to 5-1 on the season, 3-1 in divisional play, and take over the number 2 spot in the South Division. Again, both schools need 2 victories to get into the playoffs in their final 4 games. Rockets now trying to take the lead. They trail 28-27. 50 seconds remaining here in the 4th quarter. Kulikowski under center. Stephen Murphy behind him. He's now going to pass. Pump fakes. Now looking right. Corner of the end zone. Javarius Snowden. He went for it, and a flag comes out, and they're going to call pass interference against Plymouth. On the coverage was Philip Eminger. Javarius Snowden was trying to jump for it. Looked like he tried coming back towards the ball as the ball went over his head, but Eminger was right there. And they're going to flag Eminger for pass interference.
That is huge. That is really huge. That's going to give you a first down when that was 3rd down and about 10. Now John Glenn is definitely in the driver's seat. Now it's going to be 1st and goal, 45 seconds left, and Philip Eminger very upset at himself for allowing something like that to happen.
Now keep in mind, it is a first down, so now it becomes 1st and goal from the 7 because it's half the distance. It's not a spot foul like in the NFL where they'd place it at the 1. So the Rockets still 7 yards away, but in prime position to take the lead. Langford from the Wildcat. Now he's going to roll right. Got pressure in his face. Nowhere to go. Bounces it to the left. He's going to lose some yardage. Still trying to fight, and he's going to be brought down about the 16-yard line. So not what you wanted if you're Jeremy Langford.
Daryl Kahn made sure Jeremy Langford had to force it back inside. That's great, great discipline by Mr. Kahn.
20 seconds remaining. Kulikowski spikes it. And that now will be a loss of down and a stoppage of the clock with 20 seconds to go, and we'll bring up 3rd down. So you got 2 shots to get it in the end zone as it is 3rd and goal from the 16.
Yeah, right now that missed extra point looking really, really crucial. As we said, it might come back to haunt you, and so far it has.
And I think the reason they didn't take their time out there, Ben, is because if they throw a pass and they fall short of the end zone, they can take their time out and go for that field goal.
You're becoming a student of the game, Ryan.
Just for anybody at home that was wondering, that's got to be the strategy from Tim Harden. Or like you see Langford, if he runs with it, they're going to try to kill as much clock. Langford now going to throw. Doesn't want to throw an interception. Throw it away if you have to. Throws across his body, and that one going to fall incomplete with 9 seconds to go down to the 10-yard line. That was a very dangerous pass. And that now will bring up 4th down and 16 with 8 seconds remaining, and John Glenn will take their final timeout. They will talk this one over. And you might expect Rob Lopez to come in and try to get the game-winning field goal here.
Yeah, but right now it would be kind of a long field goal for Rob Lopez, so you might see John Glenn go for the gusto, go for the glory in homecoming. Because imagine coming into school on Monday. You won. You beat a team you had never beaten before. And as a kicker who doesn't get a lot of acclaim, usually it would be great if he could do it. And right now it looks like Tim Harden's talking to him. And it looks like, yeah, they might go for the field goal, Ryan.
So Rob Lopez has come into the game. I just think 16 yards. Now, if they were at the 7, I might agree. I think you might just go for the end zone. But right here, 8 seconds left. This is the ball game, folks.
Tim Harden putting a lot of faith on the leg of Rob Lopez right here to win the game.
Homecoming game. Lopez has an opportunity to win it. Senior for this club. Rockets 4-1, trying to move to 5-1. Tony Wilton will hold the snap. This is to win, 28-27. Rockets trail. There's the snap, the hold, the kick. It's blocked, and that's it. Plymouth is going to walk away with the victory. They come in, they block the field goal, and the Wildcats will move to 5-1 on the season. John Glenn will fall to 4.
The play's not over, Ryan. They're going to say the play's not over because the ball did not cross the goal line. That's a touchdown for John Glenn.
That is
a touchdown for John Glenn.
Great awareness by the Rockets. Tony Wilton scoops it up and takes it in for a touchdown. The play, as you said, was not done. It was blocked.
And now Mike Sawchuk is furious with the officials. There is pandemonium here at Kionka Field. The coaches are going nuts.
The refs right now talking it over. This could make or break the game.
Number 87, Tony Wilton, scooped up the ball, ran it into the end zone,
and they say it's a touchdown. Oh, my goodness.
And, Ryan, we saw it with Iowa and Northern Iowa. We saw Northern Iowa Iowa blocked Northern Iowa's first field goal attempt, and the ball did not cross the line of scrimmage. That's what we saw right there. If the ball does not cross the line of scrimmage, you have an opportunity to make something of it. And in that Northern Iowa game, Iowa had to come in and block another extra point to win. So right there, that's what we saw. We saw great field awareness, picking up the football because the ball did not cross the line of scrimmage, and John Glenn's going to beat Plymouth for the first time ever.
And that will do it here on homecoming. An unbelievable finish. Mike Sawchuk and his team have got to be frustrated. Plymouth started celebrating after the block kick. Nobody picked up the ball. Nobody downed the ball. It was a live football, as you said, Ben. I thought it was dead. You thought it was dead. Everybody else but the Rockets. Great awareness by John Glenn. Tony Wilton scoops it up, goes 16 yards to the end zone. And the Rockets will win this game 33-28. What a game.
It doesn't get any better than that. Tony Wilton, give him an A on Monday. He doesn't have to take a test for the rest of the week. Winning on homecoming, great awareness, great effort. Congratulations, John Glenn. You just beat Plymouth for the first time.
And the cool thing that Tim Harden has done with this team now is after a victory, we'll see the football team go over to the John Glenn Rocket marching band. They will play the fight song. They will sing the fight song. They will celebrate with this crowd. But again, the Rockets come back from a 28-14 deficit at the half to win this game on what has been an unbelievable finish and a 16-yard touchdown run from the holder, Tony Wilton. They win it 33-28. John Glenn now 5-1 on the season, 3-1 in conference play, 1 win away from making the playoffs for the first time since 2004. I want to thank everybody on our WLND staff for bringing you this telecast of this homecoming game. For my partner, Ben Salaki, I'm Ryan Woolley. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll be back for the John Glenn Wayne game next Friday. Have a good night.